Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I've been the entire weekend on a course of blacksmithing, beating
Ooh.
the shit out of metal.
So it's a good kind of worn out. What sort
Oh
of things can you
yes,
make now?
utilities and stuff. Was offered to learn how to make guitars, but I wanted to focus on some other things. That's a cat.
Yeah, my cat's on my is now trying to eat my microphone. You're right. No, that's my microphone. So how about you, Shuttle?
I'm doing good. I've had a really long week at work. The um, what's it called? The market that we did last Sunday. The reason why I missed it was so hot and humid. I ended up having so
Oof.
I
Having what?
tried heat exhaustion.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
So I tried to show up to work because I had like a meeting with somebody who's like super like her schedule's all sorts of screwed up. So I tried to gut it out till like about 10 a.m. at work, and then like I had to take a sick day, and then the rest of the week has just been crazy. But we had a good session last night in the home game, which was nice. Ended up they got to Camp Righteous, and
Ah,
then
isn't
succeeded that, and
isn't
then
that
the
where you guys joined our session in the first? You joined the
I
session in the
did.
first place.
Yes. And I threw their because they're level 5 now, so I threw them their first like level 8 challenge rating monster. So they got to fight a T-Rex. That was fun.
Yeah, T-Rexes are awesome. Regular T-Rex or T-Rex zombie?
Just regular, but the year anniversary of our group, because we only meet like every month, is going to be next month, and they're going to be at Camp Vengeance, and I'm going to have as like the anniversary thing, I'm unveiling like I'm painting their minis. So for that's like a
Ooh.
little gift, but then it's going to be like an undead horde army taking over the base.
It
So it's
is
going to be like multiple zombie T Rexes and
nice.
Growlians.
So you're gonna paint their minis
Oh
and then
yeah.
kill their characters.
Well, that way they can keep them because then because I'm not going to let them
Because
take it home because they'll leave it at home for every session. So I'm like, here's your death token. Have a mini.
that is awesome.
That's the plan. So I've got a month to plan for that. So that'll be my world for the next month.
So you guys ready for tonight's session?
Yeah,
Oh
And Fluffy,
yes.
you're at least here to answer a question or two about your character, right?
I think he's muted.
Yeah, he's muted, but he's I think able to hear us, but he like basically has to post something or get off mute for a second and say response.
Uh, I'll be here for a little bit, and then
Okay, cool,
probably be leaving around a little before 2:30 Central
excellent.
Standard Time.
So that gives enough time for your character to do something because your character is the one over by the machine. William is currently running after. The Indiana Jones wannabe who's currently suffering from madness. Uh,
What's
Rhiannon has picked up a ring and was about to try to cast an identification ritual, except that there's all this stuff going on, and she doesn't have 10 minutes to do that because there's something happening. There was some kind of noise. I want to say a howl in the shadow from the Shadowfell that you guys also heard because the portal's open. And John hasn't figured out what he's going to do yet. So, and Tobias, that's fine. Don't worry about it. If you feel like you can't talk, just type stuff, and we'll talk it out. Well, I will miss your voice, because especially because I love your character when he's insane. Just the emphasis you give on the words is just hilarious. But I really have to feel better soon. Anyway, so the huge noise has hit the Shadowfell. Sunday is still, I think, moving deeper into the Shadowfell, while William is struggling to grab him and drag him back out. John, you're over by the machine. Adler, you're kind of standing there. Rhiannon, you've picked up a ring from a body and are staring at it. the howling noise not only it hits William and Sunday, but is loud enough to shake the all four of the mirrors there. Rhiannon, you feel this weird not weird prickling, kind of like feeling of ants crawling up and down you.
After the howl, is it triggered by the howl, or
It
just
seems to have been triggered by the howl, yes. This weird prickling sensation.
William, get him out of there? There's something evil this way.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull Sunday out of the portal. Is he coming with me? Because I'll have to use force or some other idea.
I'm following. I'm walking along with you, just looking back into this room, going picnic.
The picnic isn't over here. This isn't a good place for a picnic. Come on, this is way too dark. You need some trees and stuff for a picnic, right?
A sound like the combination of a howl and a human like scream splits the air, and you feel a bit of a shake. Rhiannon, your skin starts to prickle more as the body next to you begins to glow.
We have a situation.
I'm gonna start running.
Or no, Sunday.
I'm pulling Sunday with me. I can run pretty fast. If need be, I'll drag Sunday on the ground like a chariot.
I allow him to drag me.
All right. The two lizard folk over here basically say looking down, back towards where the devil has been consigned to that, pit there, and say, guys, there seems to be some kind of ghost, perhaps more of those wraiths coming this way.
Do we have a short rest?
No. William, you managed to drag Sunday through the portal. John and Adler, what do you guys do?
I'm switching it to where the one that said Feywild.
Okay,
I was told which one it was, and I'm switching to that one.
All right, so
I think it was this one.
you hear a much louder rumble as as this happens, but not before the body next to you just starts rising up from its from its poise. And give me 1 second to put a token down. Oops.
Right, I'm gonna punch it, I guess.
I mean, this is a reasonable response to a zombie popping up. Is to punch it.
I'm like, oh fuck, kicking in the face.
Initiative. Oh Jesus. Oh, what do I have? I have like very little left.
Yeah, we're all pretty tapped right now.
I have 3 level 1 spells.
I'm mad.
I have a
Yeah,
spell slot.
what's the time on this madness? Don't we have like 40 minutes left of this shit?
Sadly, yes. He is still crazy.
He's a crazy, crazy man.
And we've established that lesser restoration does not help.
Yeah, he's beyond he's beyond the ability to be affected by lesser restoration.
Good luck, guys. I'm counting on you.
Oh, goody. Oh, goody, there's more.
Well, you also got
Come
the
on.
two NPCs.
Come.
Hold on 1 second. Let me pull them in.
Wait,
We managed to not fight them last time, right?
yes.
How did we do that?
We asked for a note.
Yeah, that is true.
I will ask them for more paper.
Yeah.
Can I have paper to sign our will?
Have you met our Lord and Savior Parchment? Thank you. Have a good day.
I think you need to go to school.
You hear the chuckling from the devil in the next room as you can sort of see what's going on here. John,
Oh, shut up.
you have first turn.
Oh.
You've just you just managed to slide the thing, and you see the light coming off of that device, and now heading over to the Feywild mirror as the mirror to the Shadowfell turns more cloudy. You smell the stench of I want to say kind of maybe sulfur or methane. No, not sulfur. Sorry, a methane kind of stench coming from the direction of the Feywild one, and you can see like a darkened foresty type place beyond. In the more clear light, you see very odd looking trees and what looks like a kind of marshy ground, along with what appears to be rather large tree-sized mushrooms.
Oh. Good. And I cast Firebolt at the zombie that's right the fuck there.
Alright.
Bad zombie.
Zombie takes damage.
Bad zombie.
William!
I'll sting some more in here.
I'm gonna walk over to the zombie. I'm gonna strike it, and I'm gonna miss it.
No, you don't. You don't miss it.
I hit it, and I'm gonna use Flurry of Blows to hit it one more time. Oh, that's right. One more time. No, that
you
misses.
missed that one.
Then I run away, and because I'm have the feat mobile, and I'm a monk, drunken monk, I don't take an attack of opportunity, and with my track from Flurry of Blows, I'll grab what's his name again, Sunday, and run through the portal.
Sunday, do you allow him to grab you?
Yeah, I look like I wasn't ready for it and just get dragged along.
Okay.
Pick me!
I like, bye you fools.
So that Sword Wraith Warrior comes forth. Strikes out at the lizard man in front of him. You hear a grunt from one of the lizard folk. And you hear the other one call out, Nolan! Get moving! Nolan grimaces and goes and says, Raja, I'll hold them off. I can't, if I move, it's too late for, sorry, it's too late for me to move anymore. Go! And you hear more attacking noises from your position, because you're not really paying attention to what the lizard folk are doing down here. Wow, he did devastating damage on that thing. The Sword Wraith Warrior comes forth and also strikes out the lizard guy. But you guys are basically hearing the sounds of damage, and maybe out of the corner of your eye, Adler, you can see the lizard folk getting badly hurt when the first one hits him, and him striking back with major damage.
That's bad.
And then, yeah. This one, the other wraith manages to miss him. Adler, what do you do? Your companions are fleeing through the portal. There's a zombie, and there's two wraiths that you see.
I'm going to go up here and strike at that zombie.
Okay. You managed to decapitate said zombie. The head kind of flies back, hitting this mirror over here. The mirror rocks for a second. Adler, roll perception.
Perception.
Alright. I'm gonna whisper something to you. 1 second. Alright, Rhiannon. What do you do?
She'll turn to the group and be like, "Are we fighting these or are we running?"
Run.
Okay. And with that, I will haul my happy ass through the portal.
Okay. The other one comes
I will
here.
hold. Can I hold my action if anything follows us in?
Sure.
I will ready Sacred Flame.
Yeah, that one just aimed its longbow at Nolan. You hear a grunt from the lizard man as he's struck with an arrow. Sunday.
I've been dragged through the portal.
Yes, you have. But of course, you can still hear the things going on in here because the portal is still technically open on the other side.
I'll move on over to the closest big mushrooms, look up it and go, picnic.
The air, by the way, on that side is actually kind of cold. Raja puts a hand on her brother's arm and casts Cure Wounds on him. Ooh. 'Cause I don't have much more left. She kind of looks around at the others because he already said that he's holding on there, and she joins you guys at the portal. John, what do you do?
I kind of step right here. All right. Well, it's time for you to come with us too, Nolan. Magic missile against this one.
All right.
That's 2,
Oops, sorry, Lara.
4, and 5.
Guy's deciding to sit right in front of my mouse. William, you're already heading back with that, and you're hearing people yelling from behind you. And you're seeing Sunday looking at the mushrooms as cold slightly seeps into your legs. And the smell of methane seems to be soaking up from the ground as you feel like a marshy substance under you. It seems that you've found a Feywild swamp.
I'm just running. I'll run till I run into a tree. That's my philosophy at the moment.
Okay. Sword breath. Sword breath goes after. Ooh. Poor
Yeah.
Nolan.
That was bad for him.
Yeah. Nolan will
make
hold.
a run for it.
Nolan will hold his action until Adler is basically kind of fending off the wraith and saying, "No, get back through the portal. Somebody has to keep them from following you guys." And he kind of looks over at Adler. "Get going."
Goddamn heroic NPCs.
No, that's right. It's still his turn, but he's holding his action until Adler moves. Sword wraith. Will attempt to stab him again. And misses. Adler, your turn.
Okay. I can do this. I'm going to go here. Lay on hand him for 10 health.
Excellent. That'll keep him alive for now.
And bolt.
Okay, so everyone's back to the portal. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Alright. So, you hear some grunts of pain behind you, and you see, the other lizard folk kind of still watching through the portal, even as the first one kind of stumbles over there. There's a slight shaking around you, and the portal kind of vanishes from sight. Seems that Nolan has done that or moved it, something along those lines. But it seems like your NPC companion has sacrificed himself to save you guys.
Rhiannon will go up to Raja and put her hand on her shoulder and say, "Your brother was very brave," and she'll say a little prayer with her.
Raja nods her head, putting her hands together and bowing slightly. Yes. Perhaps perhaps all is not lost for him, but I do not know if we will meet again in this life. She says, looking over at you.
Maybe in time there is something that, as I go stronger, if we can find him, I might be able to help.
Alright. Here you guys are. Ah! Stupid thing. Stop! Ah! Stupid mouse! Sorry, our mouse decided to pick now to go crazy.
Crazy. Just like one of our players.
What? Picnic?
Picnic.
Your mouse is suffering from madness.
Yes. So, okay, here's where you guys all are. You find yourself in a very dark and rather cold feeling swamp. Your feet sink slightly into the marshy soil, but thankfully you're on mostly walkable ground. Around you are the oddest looking trees. They don't look like normal trees that you would see, like, nothing lush and green, but they're more like tall with purple and kind of black flowers and vines hanging down from them, along with mushrooms of various colors and sizes all around. The air stinks of methane.
Huh.
What would you guys like to do?
Rhiannon will say, it looks over at, who was it? Was it John or Sunday that cast the fireball last session in the toilet?
John?
She looks at John, sniffing the air.
I look at Becca.
Let's learn from before and not use fire here.
Almost as if you've conjured it, you hear a poof, 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 and a little ways off, you see a fireball that's kind of lift off into the ground as if it's a natural phenomenon.
Oh, good. This is good. No, this is bad.
The air temperature lifts slightly in that direction.
Huh, fascinating. Well, which way are we going?
I
think going out of here is more important than knowing where we're going, because I don't think we know where we are.
Well, yes. So do we go that way? That way? That way? And she just curves, like, spinning in a circle while pointing.
Sunday.
Sunday.
What?
Stop.
Picnic?
No pick.
Can we tie him to a tree and let this pass?
That would be fantastic.
I would actually prefer to get out of this swamp first.
Just tie him to Adler.
Yeah.
Why me?
Because you're the one that's in, like, armor, and I'm kind of small. And
Okay.
I look at Adler and go, picnic.
Do you really want
Yes,
the
picnic.
drunk and the madman to be connected? I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't. I agree.
Sandy gives a thumbs up.
It'd be
Alright,
like
guys,
one of
so
those
which way are
trust
we going?
exercises.
Are these
So, as far as you guys are concerned, every direction looks the same. You see the occasional weird tree. You see lots of tall mushrooms, and everywhere around you appears to be more swamp. And the sky is dark.
I start going toward the northeast.
You have no idea which direction is north. But let's just pretend it's the northeast on the map.
Oh, the northeast on the map. I rolled it at 1d8. I'm like 1, 2, 3. Yep, that way. That was my decision.
Let's go.
Because I have no
Right.
fucking idea.
Oh, when a madman walks up in a random direction, that's bad.
Well, yes.
Or when the little halfling goes somewhere.
Everything turns out to end up all right for John. For some strange reason, he's lucky.
And then you die of dysentery.
Okay, so since John is going to be the Pathfinder, roll me a 1d100, John.
Don't worry, guys. I will find us the thing that wants to eat us.
31.
That's not what we're looking for, though.
Should have told him sooner.
Let's see here. What is a 31 on my nice sheet that I've been working on?
Instant death.
No.
It's a nice cottage.
It's death itself, yeah. That's what 31. We're in the Feywild. How bad can it get?
Pretty fucking bad.
Been in the Feywild on one other campaign, and it was probably the most interesting and that I've ever been in.
It's probably just gonna be some sprites, right?
So John, as you walk along, you find yourself in a somewhat more hard-packed ground, and you seem to be getting close to one of the very strange trees. You see several large, very broad, meaning that they're about the size of dogs, leaves made of purple and with black veins running along them, kind of laying all the way down on the ground, just extending from vast vines that seem to be coming out of the top of the tree. What do you do?
I am giving those a wide berth.
All right. Is anybody?
Bigger than me.
Yes, that did occur to me since you're a halfling. What about the rest of you? What do you guys wish to do?
I'm gonna leave the weird trees alone. I don't know. I just pretend they aren't real, like I do, because they don't seem like something that would be real. So I'm just like, it's getting filtered out.
William just pretends everything is not real. He thinks he's just hallucinating 90% of everything.
That's actually pretty cool.
Just too drunk.
Yeah, interesting way to
Sounds
deal
like
with
Bob
things.
Going, oh, it's one of those days, is it?
Keeping my distance, are there any of those leaves on the ground disconnected from the vines, a safe distance from the vines?
You roll perception check for me. No, you don't see any of those, but you do see a bit of more of a boggy hole not far from the tree, where there appears to be something kind of grayish sticking out.
I look closer. Can I see what it is?
Yes. What you appear to have found is the hilt of a sword, although there doesn't seem to be any sword attached to it. This seems to be immersed in this pit. Not really a pit, but kind of like a bog hole where you can't see what else is in there. It kind of like goes sook if you try to pull it out.
How close are these vines to that hole? Like, can I get underneath them without touching?
No, the vines are pretty much draped up against the tree.
Seeing
With that, but
Yeah, I
if
don't
the the vines happen to be ambulatory, meaning that if they could move, they could easily make it to that hole.
how Rhiannon's looking at that, I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and try to grab it from a distance.
All right, it pulls free easily from the muck because there's nothing else attached to it. It's easily, probably like 2 pounds if that, and floats over towards you.
There you go.
Well, thank you.
the hilt definitely belongs to a sword and not like a short sword or a dagger or anything, something that a human or an elf or an orc or something like that along those lines would use as a sword.
So it's just the hilt. Does the blade look snapped?
Oh,
or
sorry.
Is it just...
Not hilt. Sorry, I meant to say scabbard. Why did I say hilt?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, my
Okay.
brain does that sometimes. It'll say the wrong but related word, and I won't pick up on it until I've said it several times or somebody's repeated back to me. Ugh.
Okay, so the
I am
scabbard,
very
okay.
sorry. I meant to say
Very
scabbard.
good. So the scabbard, does it look very elaborate? Are there any carvings in it? Anything of that nature?
About the only carving you can make out is that of a dragon, but it seems rather ragged. It looks like it's been there for a while. It's fairly tarnished. Whatever cloth, whatever there's mostly been eaten away. There's a bit of metalwork that looks like in the shape of a dragon along it, like long ways where the body's all stretched out and the wings are like just a suggestion sort of thing.
Well, Rhiannon's done a fair amount of reading, and with her knowledge of Bahamut, does she recognize this specific iconography or symbol of the dragon?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's anything religious related. It looks like it's more of, some knight or some, order had a dragon on their, as their symbol, and for whatever reason, they've lost their scabbard here in the swamp.
Would that scabbard fit a longsword?
It doesn't look like it would fit a long sword, no. It looks like it would fit like a normal, average-sized sword. But not a short sword, not a long sword, just an average sword.
Does anybody have an average sword that wants a pretty scabbard?
I mean, I'll make sure I get one when we get a chance to. But
Here you go.
Oh, that was... These are interesting.
Actually, if we take 10 minutes, can I take a look at that scabbard with the ring that I found?
yeah,
Alright, where you going to arrange yourself at?
So we found, you said that John had a firmer ground over here, safely away from the vines.
Yeah, he's currently standing there.
Away from the creepy tree. That's
Yeah.
where I'm standing.
Agreed. So I will perform Identify Ritual.
I'll perform the Detect Magic ritual at the same time.
Alright. Detect magic, definitely the ring is glowing. It's detect magic. I understand that detect magic in D&D is meant for picking out schools of magic. I always think of detect magic more as I'll put a school there if I understand exactly what school to put something under, but otherwise I use it in terms of intensity. This magic is essentially glowing. This ring is essentially glowing red hot. You can't make out what school of magic, if any applicable schools can apply to it, but you do know that it is incredibly magical. That there's something intense. If it was radioactive, it would basically be making you very sick right now, sort of thing. This is giving off waves of magic.
Alright.
The scabbard, on the other hand, is nothing. It just seems to be just something that got left there, a piece of trash, perhaps, or a cool-looking scabbard that somebody else could use.
What does the Identify tell us? Or tell Rhiannon?
Identify. Alright. Well, you have no idea, even with Identify, what what exactly this ring is, because it appears to be something rather unique. Therefore, nothing that your Identify spell has ever come in contact with before. You get impressions in your mind that it has something to do with the infernal plane. Perhaps to deal with devils. That whatever effect it has on them or deals with them in some sense.
Let's put that away in the bag.
Sunday,
that's-
you start to feel things just kind of moving around your ankles all
Sunday.
of a sudden.
Pull the rope.
There's a slight splashing in the water as you continue to stand there.
We need to take care of this situation.
Roll perception, guys.
Jesus H.
Adler, you had one job.
Not my fault that.
I am focused on that ring.
Yeah, Adler.
Not my fault.
Uh,
that he
you managed to spot that one of the another tree, not the one that you guys were looking at before, but one of the other trees, is right next to that water line and has a vine dropped into the water. This vine is now tightening around Sunday's legs, apparently. Sunday, is your character currently cognizant enough to try to flash out of it? If so, roll a dexterity check. Oh, and by the way, you've got quite an audience now, guys. A bunch of
Correct.
people stepping in, listening to all this.
I don't think I'm conscious enough. I think we determined it was like 10 or 15 minutes left after last
Yeah.
session.
There is.
So-
So, as far as your character is concerned, this could be a snake, an eel, a hentai tentacle, an octopus, something along those lines.
I mean, if we still freak him out, he might be able.
Yeah. I'll scream out, "Picnic!" And that's what I do.
Okay.
love him.
It tightens
We'll have
around
a picnic
Sunday's
later.
legs, and as he's pulled out, you see that his entire lower half of his body, basically all of his legs, his calves, up past his knees, is surrounded by a leaf, as he's being pulled upwards towards the tall tree above you guys.
Is he still tied to Adler?
Apparently not. He slipped free and jumped into the water.
I just walked over.
This is more and more problematic.
Oh god! Somebody said, hentai tentacle, I'm okay with this. I think they meant that as a joke, though.
Oh, that would be Fox, Drake, Quinn. Welcome. I know those three. Those three are from my friends.
Ah! This explains things. Well, it looks nothing like this. I figured because this one is purple, this following token is purple, this makes it for a more useful picture than some other trees.
Hmm?
It doesn't look anything like that. It's just that this happens to be purple, and the tentacle, not tentacles, the vines are purple. So, and that thing seems to have tentacle, well, it's roots in this case, but these are actually vines coming up from the top.
It looks like a very angry piece of broccoli.
Yeah, it does.
does.
It does.
You didn't eat me.
You should have eaten your vegetables. Don't worry, John knows exactly what not to do.
I hope he does. Then
Hey, it's a plant. You know what to do.
no.
I was told
Have you
not
seen-
to use fire. Well, I can't use fire.
Oops. Almost
But
forgot
we
about
saw-
Red. Sorry about her.
We did see fire, though, go in little poofs, and it didn't catch on, correct?
Correct. That's what you did happen to witness fire just kind of raising random. So it implies that this is some kind of fire swamp.
She'll, like, kind of nudge, redact that statement, kill it with fire.
Kill a fire. Good.
Oh.
I have no other options except for magic missile and witch bolt.
Maybe I should go lie on the ground so I don't get killed by fire. Because I still don't trust this isn't gonna create like a massive fireball.
Adler gets to go first.
Well, I'm going. So, how high up is?
Adler has
Okay,
the Sunday is currently hanging upside down, with his head pointed back towards that pond. You have no idea how. It looked like it was fairly shallow, considering it was only up to his knees in terms of water. So that if he falls from the side, he could easily break his neck, depending on just how hard that bottom is. But he is hanging upside down, about 5 or 6 feet off the ground.
Oh, okay. is going to just grab Sunday and try and pull him down.
Alright. That would be a strength check then.
Do it.
He's still held fast by the tight grip that the tree's leaf and vine has on him.
Well, that was my time.
John!
See,
But on the plus side, Adler, currently your hands are wrapped around his hands, so that if it suddenly lets go, he won't fall on his head. He'll just crash into you.
so I can see where the vine goes from Sunday to the tree.
Yes,
correct?
the vine goes all the way up to the top, towards the top of the tree, which you can barely make out in this darkness.
Well, let's start weakening that connection. I'm gonna cast Firebolt at that vine.
Alright.
Fire or splat. What will win?
Roll me a 1d10.
I can do this. I still know.
Alright. You smell a whiff of smoke close to you, but thankfully nothing else caught fire as you launch that firebolt out there. Oops, sorry, that Rhiannon comes next.
Okay. Given that the vine is weakened a little bit, she's gonna follow suit with Adler, and she's gonna say a little prayer first, and she will pull, trying to break the weakened vine and free Sunday.
Alright.
We doing just strength or athletics?
We are doing athletics.
And that don't matter. That does not work. She just tries to pull and pull and pull, I would imagine, and it does not work.
Yeah. You just kind of grab hold of, was it Sunday or Adler you're grabbing hold of?
Sandy.
I was trying to like pull him, and since the firebolt weakened the vine a little bit, I was going to try to pull him free.
Okay, so you're now standing in the water holding on to them too. Alright, so this thing is starting to pull back, trying to lift Sunday up towards wherever the mass is up at the top. It's very possible there are, more predatory parts of it up there that you're not seeing from this distance. It is pulling at you, pulling at her, which means you guys are kind of anchoring him. So you guys get... Yeah, well, you should be able to counter that easily. Like, pull back on that. You have to beat a 9 with your strength check.
Done.
Alright, so you still haven't pulled him free, but at least you've held on to him so he doesn't lift up any higher.
I'm being stretched.
Yes, you could feel it wrapped around your legs. You're upside down. Adler has hold of your arms, and Rhiannon's holding on too. But this thing is just not able to lift you any further. So you're cool at the moment. William.
Is there any way I could jump myself off of Adler and touch the vine that is holding Sunday?
You might be able to.
I'm gonna try that, and I'm gonna cast Inflict Wounds on the vine.
You could probably do like a foot on Adler's shoulder and a foot on mine, right? I would imagine.
Yeah.
Monk power! Sorry.
Monk power. Do I need to make any check or just roll for Inflict Wounds?
Just roll for inflict wounds.
Right.
Because it's a touch check. But you still have to move you
Shabam!
still have to move your token up.
That's fine. Please let me hit. I mean that is the vine.
Jesus Christ.
I just jump up and
Wow.
touch the vine and it explodes.
Yep, the entire vine just kind of like turns white all of a sudden, and just starts crumbling in the dust. Even as the tree is unaffected, Sunday is released all of a sudden as the vine and the leaf goes dead. Adler, you're holding on to him, and Rhiannon, you're holding on to him. he kind of slams into the two you guys. William, you're kind of like thrown off Adler's shoulders, Rhiannon's shoulders, and suddenly kind of falls down, and the four of you go down into a soggy pile as you collapse into the water.
Well, we saved him.
Yeah.
I think it is time for us to rest, and at least till this mad one is a little more clear.
Shouldn't
Yeah.
we first run away out of this weird, creepy...
I just think if we run through it, we're gonna run into more things. But I mean, if you think that staying here is dire, Ran and I have not been into the Feywild, so my knowledge is
We could.
Before we go any further, I'm going to tie a frickin' rope around Sunday and then tie the other end around me.
I will look on as he does it.
I'm gonna run away from the tree.
Yes, let's get a bit further away from that tree.
Yeah, so we'll get a safe distance from the killer tree.
Yeah, you see several other trees around and their leaves and vines, but now you understand their danger. There's also a bunch of tall mushrooms, and mushrooms of various sizes and colors all around you as well.
Great, we're in the fucking mushroom fucking kingdom. Living... Yeah, living things that want to...
Oh my god, we saw a fireball earlier bouncing around.
And William just kind of bounced up and down on you guys.
Did he go, waha?
I would like to imagine so.
You know.
And I was rescued. I am Princess Peach.
Sorry, but our princess in the other game.
Princess Sunday.
From now on, your name is Princess Sunday.
I don't object.
All praise.
Well, you are in the Feywild.
Alright, so we find... I would like to try to find a spot that's farthest from all the death vines.
All right.
And
That only
we'll
takes
wait
it-
for at least Sunday.
That only takes a few minutes, and it still continues to smell like methane. But you're kind of in the junction of a couple of the more deeper pools.
I will, I guess, take 10 minutes when we sit down to just make a 20-foot area around us of alarm.
All
I'll have it set up so that if anything walks in, it'll let me know, and if Sunday tries to walk out, I'll know.
That's good. But after a little while of you guys doing that, of course, Sunday finally returns to his normal self.
Do I remember anything from my night times?
Yeah, you remember you were lost in confusion, but now your brain is cleared, and you are you again.
Why am I tied? Alright.
Because you kept goddamn running away and causing trouble for us. That's why.
Well, I didn't know better. I was mad.
That's not my problem.
Now I'm just back to eccentric.
Are we taking a short rest now? What are we doing?
I'm fine with short rest.
Okay.
I'm also fine with a short rest. I can't do anything with a short rest, but I'm fine with it.
I need
I'm
to
just
hit
thinking
that.
hit dice, yeah, because I don't have a whole lot of healing spells left.
I'm 7 points from max, so it's like, you know.
I'm thinking mostly Sunday. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not actually that bad off. I just don't have a high
He's,
myself.
he's just not taking any damage. It's just been us.
The only damage I took was like fire damage because I threw myself at a shelf.
Yes, I will mention that again for the people who are in. a bookshelf got lit on fire, so he was mad and he threw himself onto the bookshelf. Put it out.
What do you?
Save the books.
I think he was just yelling fire.
Yes. Yeah, three bookworms versus a library. That was fun. Well, technically,
In
it
a
was.
library that was then caught on fire, then promptly put out after the battle.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, after you subdued the Alep, which then caused the entire machinery to shut down. Well, the whatever that guard machinery, the machinery that made the whole place look random. That all shut down.
shall we, now that Sunday is not going to go wandering into a tree,
I can
probably stop
untie myself now. I don't have to tie the sun.
alright, which way? Same way?
Good question. As long as we stay away from the tree, fine.
Alright, I guess go the same direction while avoiding giant killer broccoli trees.
Yeah.
It doesn't look anything like broccoli up top. It's just that I figured that picture works better than some of the others.
Nope, they're broccoli trees. It is canon.
Wait, they have cannons too? Damn it.
They are resistant to ranch. Sorry, carry on. My bad.
Yeah, sorry. Laughter break for people watching. Laughter break. Anyway,
Onward.
as you continue on, perception checks.
Don't worry, I'm the most perceptive here for +2.
Well, apparently I'm the most perceptive one. Yeah,
William's
Still this book.
and
Will,
I,
Will-
on point as always.
Yeah, William's probably standing there with his jug up to his lips, not paying attention to anything, just sucking down whatever's in there.
He's like, is that a monster? Nah, that's just my imagination. It's fine.
Fine.
Sunday, as you gaze around, somewhere in the distance to what the equivalent of north would be on this map. This is just a random map, anyway. You see a figure kind of moving between the tree. Well, not the trees, but the mushrooms, the big tall mushrooms.
Do I still see the figure?
It appears humanoid, at least from this distance. Tall, with some sort of flowing robes perhaps around it.
I'll tap Adler's shoulder and go, hey, look at that.
I'll look direction point. Do I see anything?
You think you see movement in the distance, but it's hard to tell. It is very dark out here, and even with your night vision, it's still difficult to discern sometimes.
There's a person there.
Oh, where?
I'm not mad.
No, you're not.
Well,
Maybe they know where. Maybe they can help us.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh, you're right. I'll call out to him.
I start kind of heading that direction, I guess.
Alright?
Hello. Excuse me.
The figure stops moving for a moment, and you see a kind of a lamp being lifted up, and what appears to be a slender, kind of elven-looking woman with long hair, kind of spilling out from her hooded. It would be a cloak actually, her hooded cloak and robes. Oh, hello, strangers! She calls.
Greetings. Lost. Could you help us?
What are you looking for? You don't appear to be on the roads.
Well,
On the what?
You're not on a road. You're out here in the middle of nowhere.
Well, you see, a lot of stuff happened, and we're trying to actually find our way back to the material plane.
Oh, you're not from around here.
Nope.
Nope.
I see. Well, you look like you might be hungry. Why don't you come back to my place with me for now?
Okay.
Strangers offering food. Perfect.
Walking up.
I'm drunk and hungry, so I'll go, I guess. I'm too hungry to question it.
Sprinkle goes ahead.
Okay, I only have.
Roger looks like she's a bit on the defensive side, but she's following along with the rest of you.
Rhiannon
Yeah.
follows suit as defensive as well, but will follow.
I'm gonna be on a defensive a bit too because can't trust
Sprinkle would be
Random.
like up a little bit ahead. Cece's a friend.
You come to what appears to be the kind of a, some nondescript part of the, the swamp forest here. And you see, more tall mushrooms. There's some vines, but they're kind of more greenish, grayish instead of purple-black. And they don't appear to be dangerous, kind of dripping over what appears to be a rather large hut that is partially made up from the bark of various trees. You kind of see a bit of smoke coming up from it, and it doesn't smell quite as methane-y over here, so perhaps this is a good place for having some kind of cooking fire. And there are, little tiny vines kind of hanging down in front of a doorway. She kind of beckons you beyond, heading in.
I walk in.
I walk in.
I walk in as well.
You smell something cooking on a central fire. There's a fire pit, kind of hearth with stones around it in the middle, and over it there's a pot with something bubbling inside. It kind of smells nice. And up above that, of course, is the large chimney. There are various racks of drying herbs, drying pieces of probably some of the leaves that tried to eat Sunday, along with various little animal pelts, and a bed off into the far corner. So she says, "How did you find your way here to the Feywilds?"
Oh, through a mirror.
Through a mirror. Interesting.
It's been closed, unfortunately.
Oh, so
Well, unfortunately, thankfully, it's closed.
so you have no easy way back then.
No, we don't.
Unfortunately.
Are you hungry? She kind of goes over towards the steaming bowl, the bubbling pot that's in the middle, and picks up one of those ladle things, and she has a couple bowls around. It's hard to tell what they're made from, and she starts ladling.
Sure.
Ladling the contents of the big cauldron into them. Looks like a bubbling, steaming liquid with maybe porridge of some kind.
Oh, sure.
And she hands it over to each of you that want some.
Thank you. We've had quite
Yeah.
action-filled days lately. Nice meal would be nice.
Rhiannon is a little hesitant and just glancing around, and just the way that she's been talking to her. Do I believe that she means good intentions?
Insight? If you're eating, put your token over here. If you're not, put your token over here.
But if you're eating up, I'll eat. I'll have some. I'll be stupid.
There's a theme here, isn't there?
What?
Look, if it's something a drunk person would do, William is gonna do it.
No, I'm looking at the fact that
It's
it's
the ladies that are being smart.
Hey, I just got out of madness.
I will say one thing.
I'm a kind person. I'm
I'm
not
ha-
gonna just say
I-
John's an
Hey,
idiot
fine.
when it comes to anything besides books.
I'm an ex.
alright. So, unfortunately for Adler, William, Sunday, and John, the stuff tastes really good, but as soon as you're finished eating, you kind of all yawn and instantly fall asleep before yawning can warn you that something is very off here. You're kind of all slumped around the fire pit. Adler, as far as you're concerned, your eyes are just kind of rolled back in your head, and you're just kind of sitting there or standing there. The equivalent of elves. The closest an elf comes to sleep.
Yeah, because magical sleep doesn't work on elves. Yay!
But
Poison
something. Yeah.
Poisons.
I would like to think like Adler has de-escalated to the point of William in the like drunkenness.
Yeah. So he's just kind of standing. He's just kind of sitting there while the other characters are asleep, or been lulled into a sleep. But he's just kind of lulled into a trance where he can't really move.
I'm face first in the porridge.
And the woman kind of like stares over at Rhiannon and Raja and goes, yes, well, it figures that the women are the smarter ones here.
Very true. So I figured that you've been around these parts dealing with some interesting individuals that have not questioned your means. What?
She grins, and the glamour that she was hiding under kind of drops away. Ah, yes, dear. It is so interesting to see people from the material plane coming here. They're much easier to lure, shall we say.
Well, what... I can try to persuade you, but I don't know if I can. But what can I do to just leave me, and we will carry on our way.
Oh, you think you need these people back?
Oh, yes, I do.
What do you have that might persuade me to letting them leave here?
I'm looking. Hold on.
Had this been any other character, I would not have had I would not have eaten. But
Yeah.
seeing as it's the lawful good paladin, he's not gonna respectful.
Well, the only reason why I played it this way is she's super, super insightful. That's like my top skill.
Yeah.
And he's book smart, not doing anything else smart.
I'm drunk, that's my excuse.
Okay. Okay, so she will, okay. She walks up to the hag, I'm assuming hag, old woman, whatever.
Yes.
And, she looks at the passed out members of her party and remembers all the, trials that they had been with, each other over the last couple of days. And she looks down at, she holds out her leather tome that she's been sketching and drawing in, and holds it out to the hag. And she'll say, there are many stories and legends and sketches in here from the material plane that I know that if you have not been there in quite some time would be very valuable to you. And she'll tear out the pages and hold them to him. Her. Sorry.
So that would have been insulting to her, but she looks at them and seems to be thinking, mulling it over. Do you wish them back more than your own livelihood? How interesting.
I always try to help people no matter what the cost.
And what is it like these days in the material plane?
Well, the last couple of days have been really, really confusing. I mean, we were in this building that kept changing, and then there were these whispers, and so the material plane is kind of all messed up right now. I don't know if you want to go there, but yeah.
She thinks for a moment. Well, perhaps I might be interested in these. She looks over at the men, kind of, stooped over and pokes a bony finger at it. Adler. Well, let's see what else they might have on them.
Don't you lay a finger on them.
A lot of booze is the answer.
Just a little something from each of them to be traded in their stead.
If she touches my booze, I'm gonna kill her.
She steals anything from Adler, kinda like it.
Hold on.
I have a pillow. I have a red and golden print pillow with like a super high thread count. It's gonna be super. I have the sturdy tapestry. Also very comfy. I don't know, do I have anything else that might be interesting? Not really.
I don't have a lot of interesting things.
Well, I think she'd probably take the tapestry off of William, and she'd probably take the scabbard from Adler. From John...
Sign her death warrant.
Let's see, from John... she'd probably start peering at his notebook. So all of you are interesting individuals writing stuff down, I take it?
We do like to document things. But I cannot speak for my compatriots.
Well, they do prefer their lives, don't they?
Books.
So, she just kind of like pulls out Williams and John's and Sunday's notebooks as well.
Oh, that's a bad.
I offered you knowledge, ma'am, and you shall not take anything from them.
Oh,
Well,
do you wish a little wager for it?
sure. What wager?
Well then, I will keep one of these fine men if you lose.
I will not wager with their lives.
Then what will you wager with?
I could resist it.
She holds out a very vibrant purple stone in her hand and says, "This is very highly magical. Take this and be on your way."
Oh no.
Her eyes fill with greed. You are willing to offer me all of some of your fine treasures for their knowledge. Fascinating.
For their lives and knowledge, for knowledge is everything. Now take it and be gone.
This is my home. She grins, but she plucks the stone out of your hands along with the sheets that you'd already offered her, and just drops the books back on the men. Now, why don't you?
Give it back?
No, well, okay, she'll drop the scabbard and the tapestry as well, but she mainly was after those books.
Yeah, Rhiannon wasn't gonna let her take the books.
So why not take your friends and be gone from my place?
Very well. She starts dragging bodies out of the hut.
And Raja assists. By the time that the hut doors get slammed and apparently warded by the hag, the curse of sleepness and for Adler stupefaction wear off, and everybody they all snap too.
That's a good porridge.
What?
Really?
And as you guys are coming to, you see probably a very strained and angry looking, or possibly just frazzled looking, or exhausted Rhiannon standing over you, along with a contemplative Raja.
Did we miss something?
I assume we did. That was clearly
Clearly.
poison.
fine.
she'll lean down and pick up the 2 books and hand the book to Sunday and John and William his tapestry and Adler the scabbard. We're fine. Let us carry on and not think about this place anymore.
Wait, what?
So next, Roger looks at you guys and says, "Next time, think twice before accepting food from somebody you just met."
I'm sorry, I've taken an oath to be respectful.
If it hadn't been for Rhiannon, you guys would have probably been made into her dinner.
I'm well aware of this.
That was a hag, not an elf.
Ow.
I look down, look at myself. Everything turned out alright in the end.
Raja kind of pokes John in the forehead since he's looming over him, and then gestures towards Rhiannon. She had to give up some of her valuable research and one of her magical items to bargain for your lives.
Wait, research?
There's more information to be had.
On
And-
what flammable houses.
And then she'll kind of like slowly, like, actually not slow, very fast, like start opening up the book and just trying to scribble down as much she can remember. I mean, I'm sure that, I don't know what kind of check you want to do to try to, I'm trying to recall all the knowledge.
It's
that I
gonna take
gave her.
time to do that.
Yeah.
And right now you're
But-
standing in front of the hag's hut, so...
Still there?
Well, the hut's still there. You guys are kind of camped out outside of it at the moment.
Okay, for some reason I thought it vanished. I guess.
No, the door closed, and you felt the kind of a ward going up, the equivalent of a lock.
I'm just gonna reach into my bag and take out a crowbar and just go research.
There's a dance of fire in John's hand.
I did have to give up some things, but your lives are more important than a magical item. Or she gets pained whenever she says it. A little bit of knowledge.
Well, I appreciate for what you've done. Thank you for valuing our lives as such.
John, William, as way of contemplation, will not drink from his tin.
Wow.
Now let's get out of here as soon as possible. I don't want that hag mine, now do we?
Sure, we shouldn't just go in and kill her.
He whispers into Rhiannon's ears. That's what I picture. It's like,
Technically, I'm neutral good, so she kind of just shrugs.
Are you sure murder isn't fine?
I mean, it is an evil person who just tried to kill us. I think that's fine. I'm neutral, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. We'll shrug. It's your choice.
We can come back later when we know what we're doing, really. If we really want to.
Take care, people watching.
See you, Spire. Don't take strangers.
It's too late for that now, isn't it?
Take porridge from strangers. Not candy.
Well, yeah, but it kind of boils down to the same thing.
Like I said, I know, but I have to play the idiot.
And I love it.
Shall we be off?
We shall.
Alright. And I hand Rhiannon the clockwork amulet.
No, this is yours. Keep it.
If you're sure.
Thank you for the gesture. I'm good. Now let's get moving.
Why do I feel like I should start singing "We're off to see the wizard"?
John keeps a mental note of which direction it is to reach that place.
Alright. After a while of walking, the hut is no longer visible behind the various tall trees and mushrooms. The swamp is still very quiet, except for the occasional puff 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 whoosh of a fireball heading up towards the sky.
I'm gonna take out my crossbow and hold it ready.
Alright, who's up front? Who's leading this ragamatag group?
I guess Adler.
Then Adler can roll a 1d100 for me.
Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna run and grab another beer.
As you break between two tall mushrooms, you suddenly discover what appears to be some kind of road.
Oh, thank God.
It's stretching off in two directions, with no end in sight, winding its way through the swamp. You can call it north and south from here.
At least we finally have a way to actually go instead of randomly wandering through.
So it's a road.
Yes, so which way are we gonna go? North or south?
May I take a closer look at the road?
Of course.
Is the road a type of structure?
Yes, it's definitely some sort of manufactured stone. It seems to be leaving what
Is
from
it made of yellow brick?
no, it's kind of more of a grayish substance, but
Sorry,
it's
I was
definitely
making a joke.
yeah. But considering the way it stretches evenly, north and south, or at least the equivalent thereof of north and south, since you're even if you had a compass, it wouldn't be working. But it seems to be heading back there.
I have this, but I don't think it's meant for just normal structures, I suppose.
No, but you definitely can tell with that type of knowledge that this is a manufactured structure, but by what you have no idea since you're in the Feywild and not on the material plane.
Okay. Yep, it's definitely a road.
Yeah, so which way are we gonna go? North or south?
Wait, which side of the road are we on?
Mm.
If it would.
You were you were heading the equivalent of kind of an east, what I think of as an ether or northeasterly direction. So now you've come across a north-south. What in your mind is north-south road? For all you know, it could be an east-west road or some other random direction, but it's kind of heading straight in two directions.
So north would be to my left.
If we were heading northeast, it would be to your left. If you...
Yeah.
Or what?
So we head left. I think.
I'm good with north.
Ah,
All
yes.
I think we're all in agreement. Let's go that way.
The road is fairly cold, and as you continue to walk through this endless stretch of night, you notice that snow is beginning to fall, and the further you head north, the more snow there appears to be on the ground, half hiding the road.
I have a feeling we went the wrong way.
Why did snow mean that we went the wrong way?
Well, it's gonna be difficult going through snow. Trying to keep track of the road. No covering it.
Fair point.
Well, I mean, the road is where the trees are not.
Yeah. Everywhere you see on the road is, you know, you can kind of look around and go, the trees are further away, and as are the big mushrooms. Just the road's kind of an open space.
Okay, well, if you... I'm not gonna get too cold. Go this way.
Don't worry. If need be, John could just set fire to the swamp.
Oh, that's a bad... Let's go in, I can...
Okay. So, who's currently leading the party?
I would assume... I would assume I'm still leading, but...
Okay, so if you can stack your tokens up in a direction that shows you on that set of path, that'll be easier for me.
Adler, I'll help.
There we go. And that means Adler, or actually Adler and Rhiannon, roll perception checks. Adler, please roll me a 1d100.
I'm just surprised that Sean lasted this long, to be perfectly honest.
Well, he nearly got eaten by a hag, so...
But it all worked out in the end.
Bowls were made out of human skulls.
or elven, or halfling, or,
Yeah, sorry.
most likely the skull cap. Some of us are worn away that you can't actually tell it's a skull. Unless you're an anthropologist.
At least not one, not.
Pragmatic, yeah. But, okay. So, at this point, you begin to hear the sound of hoofbeats. Heading down from what you assume is north. Kind of like hoof clump. Like, partly hitting a road and partly, muffled by the snow.
Yeah, I'll instantly enter a defensive stand. Bring out my shield and sword.
Okay, so we haven't noticed this, but after is suddenly in defensive pose. So I'm taking out my crossbow and aiming it over his shoulder.
Alright. So everybody roll perception checks again.
Goody, gumdrop. I'm sure this will go well. Yep.
Hey, I finally see something.
Alright, Sunday. Off in the distance, you see you see rather dark shapes that appear to be horses. Maybe somewhat smaller horses, but definitely kind of a horsey shape, with something gleaming up ahead of them and gleaming up on their heads. But it looks like they're covered in black, but something is gleaming up ahead, like as if there's some sort of helmet or force shield on their front.
It's agile ponies with headlamps.
There's two of them, and they appear to be clumping in unison. And as they get closer, they appear to be some kind of unicorn, except more. I guess pony size would be the most appropriate thing. So, a regular horse is bigger than a human. This one would be like a horse that's the size equivalent of a human. More of a medium size. But it's definitely a unicorn of some kind, because they've got a long horn up front. But they also appear to be wearing helmets made out of some sort of reflective metal.
How the hell?
They
Horses put on helmets.
They come up short, and one of them actually speaks and says in common, so you can understand them, saying, "Halt! Identify yourselves."
Oh, I'm John Springbottom.
I am willing. I have a question.
They flick their eyes over the group of you and stare at the one talking.
How do you guys put on helmets without hands?
That is a rude question, sir. You do not appear.
No.
You do not appear to be of this kingdom. Where are you from? State your business here.
We're lost. That's our business. That's it.
Let's explain where we are.
You are in the glorious kingdom of Our Lady of Night.
She sounds nice.
What?
We apologize if we're trespassing, but we are actually kind of lost at the moment.
Can you help us?
We'd like to go home.
And where is home?
The material plane.
Well, back that way from Mira.
Towards.
Oh, the mirror's gone.
Oh, yeah.
They're kind of like looking at each other and like touch their horns. The horns kind of glow slightly as if they're having a kind of a telepathic conversation, and then kind of like turn back towards the group. The group of you. Well, it looks like we should be getting you on to the next station. They'll sort you out there. If you're really from the material plane, maybe somebody will be able to help you. But that is a likely story.
Well,
It is very likely, sorry, because that's where we just came from.
we would appreciate all the help we can get.
Good. Then follow close, and if you try to run, we will assume that you are enemies of the kingdom and run you down.
Very well.
I'm kind of tired, so I don't really feel like running.
Did you carry you on?
Yes.
I took him up on my back.
Halfling backpack.
So, do you consent to following these two, regardless of which direction they're going to?
I mean, right now, that's the best bet is follow.
Yeah, I just follow.
I mean, we have nowhere to go. Might as well go.
They seem to know where we're going.
There's no point in running. We don't have a single clue as to where we are.
Well, maybe we should just eat mushrooms.
I think they were
That,
trying to
that might not be a good idea. Shows the drunk. But let's go.
the drunk, the voice of reason.
Alright. So, after a while, they kind of like turn you around back on the road and head you off in another direction until you're walking for about an hour, kind of like they're keeping pace with you and like slowing down to your levels, to kind of grumbling something about dealing with two legs and all that blah 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 sort of thing. You kind of hear them mumbling about it occasionally until eventually you find yourselves what?
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 You find yourselves at the outskirts of a town. You see snow kind of like everywhere on the roofs, with bits of curls of smoke coming up from there. Usually the only place you're not seeing the snow from this distance is around two large braziers at the gates that are just flames just going up into the air, spreading smoke. You seem to have left the swamp and its accompanying methane smell and have arrived on some kind of more plains of very stunted grass. And mostly more small mushrooms, that's kind of flushed with the ground, but in various colors. You see two kind of elves at the front of the gates. They have on. One second, let me find an appropriate picture for myself to actually describe it to you. Blah blah blah. They are kind of where's a good picture? They're kind of very bluish in color, with long flowing blue robes and kind of some metal chest plates on them, kind of looking very dour and just kind of standing there as the unicorns, well, the small black unicorns, herd you towards the gates. It's open up, we found some strangers who claim to be from the material plane on the road. And somebody standing there kind of rings a little bell, and the gates just kind of open inward. And you see more snow on the ground. It's just very chilly since it's cold enough for snow. But you see a lot of different people of various kinds. Many on two legs, others on four. More kind of unicorns or pony-sized horse-type creature beings that appear to be people and not mounts, wandering here and there. You see other elves. Yeah, you see other elves. Some of which are like more bluish in color with blue flowing robes all around them. All kind of hanging out. Mostly people around here seem to be fairly cheerful. Like they're laughing and chatting. You also see some other like dark-skinned elves with tall ears, and as occasionally one will smile at you as you come in, and they appear to have a mouth full of sharp teeth.
Yeah. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever been in the Feywild, so... Well, that's obvious.
Well.
It's
Oops.
the nicest welcome we've had so far.
Oh yeah, there hasn't been a tree that tried to kill us, or a person that tried to eat us.
So far, this is probably the best place we've been to in the Feywild. So, can't complain.
And I'm sorry, I don't... I didn't get the names. I'm just kind of talking to the horses that are leading them.
The horses just kind of roll their eyes at you, and, pretty much don't seem to care about sharing such information with you.
Well, these people are very nice.
As you kind of march down to what appears to be some kind of guard office, or what you would assume is a guard office, given your knowledge from the material plane, you see some more of the the black-skinned, the black-furred unicorns that are pony-sized, with helmets and all that, along with some more of those very blue-looking elves. But when you're led inside, you see a tall woman elf with dark skin, almost obsidian, and long white hair. Kind of looks a lot like a drow, except with taller ears. And again, as she looks down at you and grimaces, her teeth are all very sharp and pointy. Says, what are these creatures? She kind of looks down at you.
We're lost.
I'm
That's
an elf.
The pony unicorn, the black pony unicorn type creatures look up at her and say, "We found them on along the road, along the eastern road. We think that they might be spies sent by the Summer Kingdom."
They're not spies.
They claim to be from the material plane.
They are from the
That's-
material plane.
Oh,
yeah. Who the fuck is the Sun
I have a
Empire?
book. And I kind of start thumbing through all my notes.
The forces from Summer have been seen here in Night and Wild for the last few weeks. She hisses at you. With her sharp teeth, she kind of makes more of a hissing noise than anything else.
Well, that would explain the suspicion. I understand completely.
She kind of waves at the unicorns, and they kind of back off and nod, and then depart, leaving you in her mysterious care.
They said something about the Night Queen. Is that you?
She laughs. No, that would be. She is probably in her castle, far from yes.
I have no idea what's going on. All I know is this place is Feywild is fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, you are in the country of Night and Wild. And the Empire.
is there a way you would be able to take us back to the material plane?
No. I've never been to the material plane. I've only heard rumors of its existence.
Do you know of anyone who could possibly take us back?
She kind of points a finger at you. Quiet! I have not made up my mind yet to decide if you are Summer spies.
Excuse me, I've taken an oath of devotion. And I will never lie. But it's not like being called a liar. Or
I'm
even
gonna
being
drink.
assumed as a-
And to be perfectly honest, I know so little about this place, about anything, and so I don't think I could be a very good spy for a place I don't know of.
Yeah, where is the Summer Kingdom?
They have taken control of the season throne. So they are pressing in everywhere. But here, under the aegis of winter, we will never fear the rotation. Sorry, the rotations of the seasonal. Sorry, I hate it when I'm trying to pronounce something and suddenly my voice falls flat. We will never have to fear the sudden rotation of the kingdom seat. But with the spies from summer coming over the border, they might try to pull the influenced here.
I mean, it's a bit chilly out.
I kind of like it a little bit chilly. It's nice. It kind of reminds me of home.
Sunday is just furiously writing in. Not hooking up.
We're inside.
Well, Rihanna might have stayed outside and is playing in snow. Don't necessarily heard all of you in there.
What kind of a degree of angle did you make?
Look, you
Shut up.
We all do that one.
Yeah.
No angles.
I can be your angle.
Obtuse.
A cute. A very cute angel.
How will we convince you that we are not spies of this summer film?
She thinks for a moment. That is a good question, now isn't it? How to convince me that you are not spies? Perhaps some kind of test of loyalty, fidelity towards the king, the throne of winter?
Well, that or our lack of knowledge would also be beneficial.
I mean, she seems to be enjoying the snow. I don't know if the summer people will enjoy snow to that extent.
Clearly, if this is called the Summer Kingdom, they wouldn't have any snow.
That's also true.
Snow doesn't fall in the summer, does it?
I mean,
It is quite possible, she suggests, that if you are from this material plane, that summer could have summoned you here just to spy on us.
We got trapped
First
in the
off,
death trap.
Yeah, exactly. We were trapped in a.
weird labyrinth kind of thingy underneath the castle.
And we made our way through a mirror to get here.
We had one of four
Then-
options. There was the Shadowfell, Nine Hells, Mechanus, and here, Feywild.
She just seems to be like kind of staring at you. Well, the shadow fell, I understand, she says, but the other ones... She kind of shakes her head.
Listen, I'm willing to take any test you come up with to prove that I am an honest person.
Test? We taking a test?
I can study.
I don't do well on tests.
I do well.
She kind of like looks you over and thinks for a moment. Well, she kind of pulls out what looks like some kind of shackle made from bone with weird runes written around it. Which of you is in charge of this group?
I guess I would be the most in charge here.
She kind of glances over at the rest of you. What do the rest of you say or express to this?
If you're planning to put someone in that, I prefer.
She reaches forth and makes a grab for Adler's arm.
I would not resist.
She snaps the shackle-looking thing around your arm. You feel this weird buzzing sensation go up and down and radiate through your flesh for a moment. Then it seems to settle.
Is this really necessary?
What are you doing?
Since he is your leader, he will lead you on a mission of sorts. To prove that you are not agents of summer.
And the shackles are for what exactly?
You do not need to know that, only that if you are proved otherwise to be not agents of to be agents of summer, well, they will end you, of course. So you will be sent out to kill the band of scouts from summer that have been spotted here to the north a bit.
Not sure I could just kill people without a very good read.
That would be a crime.
The reason
Saving your
is
life at this point would be a good enough reason, though,
Yes.
Adler.
is that you get to choose whether you die or they die. Of course, if you choose to die yourself, that would mean that you are agents of summer, and she kind of looks over at the others. They would be labeled as such as well.
Uh, uh, if we succeed, right, in like, you think we do when we kill them? Will you help us to get back to the material plane? Or are you just like, yeah, if you kill them, we won't kill you, kind of deal?
If you kill them, I will allow you to. I will give you a token that will allow you safe passage on the roads to prove you are a friend to any kingdom in winter. And that will be welcome enough here in Night and Wild.
Question: how goes the war between you and the Summer Kingdom?
There is no formal war, only a statement that we will kill those who enter into the territory illegally.
Just neighbors then.
Not by choice. They encroach on the lands now that Summer holds the Season Kingdom. Season Throne, not Kingdom, Season Throne.
What's the season from?
If you were not truly from here, then you have no reason to know that.
Did everybody's sound just die?
Yeah, it died for like 1 second for me, too.
Last thing I heard was, what is the season throne?
And she basically
Yeah.
responded with saying that since you guys aren't from around here, that you really don't need to know. She's kind of like, brushing you off.
I want to get a feel on whether she is being genuine on if we do this task that Adler is going to be okay. I want to do insight.
Alright. He seems like he'll be fine.
What's happened to like fall and spring? Are they still around?
She kind of looks at William. You wish to speak of the neutral states? They often send spies in between the kingdoms.
Alright.
GM will note that she treats them the way that the Yugoloth are treated between the demons and the devils.
Sure.
They could go either way easily.
I'm just leaning into Ryan and going, neutral sounds good.
So kind of just nod. But now we have to make sure that Adler is okay.
Right.
I really do reclaim myself as the leader,
Yeah, that's what you get, son.
but I'd rather
That's
my
what you get, son.
but I'd rather my life being on the line than
Don't
someone
worry.
else.
Your life are in the hands of free book nerds. Okay.
I'm sure you're trying to reassure me, but it's not working. I can assure you, it's not working.
She leans over to John and Sunday, kind of gives him a little elbow and like, we got this. We got this.
Yeah, we got this. I'll take out my notebook.
But how well can I move my arms around?
Oh, you're fine. It's basically, she's referring to it as a shackle, but it's more like a bracer.
Oh, okay. Then.
It's just that you find you can't take it off, and the rune is currently glowing on it. Plus, you feel kind of like this weird buzzing sensation going up and down that arm.
Well, I guess point us in the direction.
Yeah, where is this band of spies located so we can head that way?
The last times we were reported to where the scouts were, they were up north. And she kind of like leans out of she takes a few steps out of the building and kind of points you in the direction that you originally thought was east. And you kind of now realize you've been going west, not north before. So
Oh wow, we really screwed up with thinking.
so now you're looking at what north is.
Like, oh wow, that's north. Oh, that's awesome.
One last question before we go. The horses were very hesitant on it, but how do they put on helmets? I really want to know.
They have the magics to protect themselves with.
Then why would I need helmets?
Yeah, what?
Because magic can only do so much.
But how do they get the helmets on?
Yeah, do they...
Enough about this helmet. I would really
With magic, she repeats slowly.
I would very like not to get rid of this life-threatening problem right now.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Let's
But
go.
I haven't written down the answer.
Come
I'm
on.
gonna have to start a new page.
Kind of starts pulling Sunday. Come on.
Oh, come on.
We head north.
So you leave town first, or you just because you're currently inside of a town?
Well, I mean.
Oh,
is
do
there
we
a
want to
bookstore?
rest before we head out?
Yeah, you weren't given a time schedule. You just basically said that if the only way they're going to believe you and give you a token and not kill Adler here, is to bring proof that you've killed the scouts from Summer.
We'll kind of like skittle back over to the person or the lady and be like, "Excuse me, sorry. Is there? We've been walking for a very long time and we're very tired. Is there? Can we take a rest, or is this like time sensitive?"
Why don't you go rest up at the inn?
Fabulous. Later, runs off.
By the way, he's gonna call the same movements that Rihanna did. What do the people we look like? Or can we just accuse random people as spies as you do?
If they are if they do not have a token from the Winter Kingdom and therefore have no authorization to being there, and they look like they are summer beings, then they are most likely from summer now, aren't they?
Would be logical.
Can you tell us what the symbol looks like?
And what does this token look like?
She sighs and produces a kind of a symbol that it kind of looks it kind of like looks like a snowflake, so to speak, but it's like attached to something.
Obvious.
That's original.
That makes sense. Thank you.
So I suppose.
Alright, let's take a long rest and go.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's take a rest. I would very much like to have my pals back.
What does a summer being look like? Right as we're walking off.
I would assume yellow?
We're being truthful here. We've not been here before.
Wait.
That is true, but just think about it from this perspective. You're like basically asking something that to them is a nonsensical question, and they don't know how to answer that as easily. This is
How can you
a
just
summer.
write this being again?
This being is very dark skinned, but with white hair and sharp teeth.
imagining
But-
the opposite then.
She basically looks like a drow with taller, pointier ears and teeth that belong to a carnivore.
No, I'm gonna imagine that they would look somewhat like me. With
Yeah,
the,
golden.
Which is,
Yeah.
which is of course probably why they want to kill you.
with my blonde hair, copperish skin. Probably what makes sense. So at least we know what to kind of look for.
Right. So, in.
To the end.
Yes, to the end.
Alright, so let's see what's at the inn. Trying to randomize. Oh yeah, there we go. So as you get into the inn, you basically hear more laughing, more talking. You see other beings kind of like around, like more beings got like 2-footed like you, and the occasional unicorn. But all of them are like black in color with white. Some of them with white manes, some of them with black manes. The occasional red mane, but all the unicorns around seem to be black in color, and the same and about the size of a pony rather than a full-sized horse.
Oh my god, I'm
But but there,
I don't know between the bar. Look at.
but you don't see that many.
Why the long-
You don't see that many in the inn itself. You just see them walking around on the street. In here, you see more like elven types and others. And behind the bar, along with some of the other patrons, is a satyr. He's just like standing back there, polishing a mug and kind of looking over at you, kind of squinting a bit and going, "Huh? Why aren't you odd-looking travelers?"
We are, yes.
Would I know
Yeah.
stuff about
And our
satyrs?
oddness is gonna quite fine. But we would like to rest.
Alright, well, I guess I can spare a room for a while. So, what brings you to this area?
Trying to get back to the material plane, that's what.
His eyes seem to light up. Oh, the material plane! Wow. Well, I've heard rumors of such a place, but I've never been there. How'd you get here?
Through a mirror.
Kind of nods and just kind of wipes down the bar. So tell me, do they have orgies in the material plane?
Rhiannon just does not know what to say. She just kind of like wide-eyed, just being like,
Sunday is just silent, dead silent.
Willem goes like, important question. How much is it to buy a drink here?
Well, I suppose you don't have any money of the kingdom if you're from the material plane. But what kind of money do you have? He asks.
I have material plane money. It looks like this, and I hold up a gold. It has this nice picture on it of the king. I think it looks very cool. And every time the king dies, we have to make all of them again, because the king really wants his picture on the coin.
Well, I guess that's the material plane for you. The kings die. Huh.
Yeah, they do a lot.
Wait, that doesn't happen.
Oh no, of course not. They occasionally change places, but the queen occasionally has other things she needs to do, or she has to sit on the Night Throne instead of simply the throne of here in Nightenwild. But she has been here since the beginning of the Feywilds. She's just always been.
"And how long is that?"
Well, far longer than this theoretical theoretical material plane that I keep hearing about. GM note.
Boy.
GM note, he is probably confused, but yeah.
Right, so we're talking about a being that is basically part of the world. You're gonna look at Rhiannon. Like, is this anything you heard of?
And how long have the Night Queen and the Sun King been fighting for?
Yeah, would I know
Sun
any
King. He kind of like
history?
he kind of like stares at you for that, and thinks for a
Queen?
moment. Sun? No,
Summer?
you mean the no? Do you mean the Queen of Light?
I believe.
Oh, that's how you guys call it.
She's not been fighting with her anytime recently, at least not in my lifetime. No, it is simply that we are part of the Winter Kingdom. He nods, and this is inside the we have this particular kingdom here. This country here, ruled by our queen, is a member of the Night Domain, and we have enemies in the Summer Kingdom, of course, and since Summer has taken the Season Throne, they have been making inroads here into our lands.
Yeah, she didn't want to tell me. What is the season throne?
He kind of like stares at you, and out of context, this would be the equivalent of somebody asking, "What is the moon?" or something along those lines.
Ah,
That it's like one of those. Like, how does somebody describe this?
A big rock in the sky. That's the moon.
Well, yeah, but not the equivalent there. It's kind of like saying it's the moon without, before people knowing exactly what that is. But basically saying everybody has seen the moon, therefore or knows of the moon, and how to describe it to somebody who doesn't know what that is.
I'm just gonna go. Okay, look. That question or answer. How do unicorns get their helmets on?
Could you?
They use their magic. What else would they be doing?
Listen, no. William got a good point.
Does he?
They use their magic, of course. Satyr kind of like stares at you.
Like mage hand kind of thing?
Nature.
I suppose that is the word.
Alright.
Just ignore that line of thinking, please. There's
I
no
write
need
it.
for
I
us
write
to
it down.
Anyway.
Yeah, we got a room.
Oh yes, I suppose. How about you give me some of your material plane coin? I might be able to use that for something.
You can use it to impress your friends.
I give him a is the most valuable coin.
Well, they're all as equally valuable to me.
Good.
He like puts a hand out.
I'll give you some gold coins because they look shinier, and I'll have some of that weird Feywild rings you guys have.
He kind of like pulls out one of the glasses that he had already finished polishing, pulls out a bottle and dribbles something blue in color into the glass. Here, how about you try some of this?
Will this kill me first of all? 'Cause it
He
looks
he
weird.
shrugs. I have no idea. You're from the material plane.
Oh, exciting! I take out my notes again.
This did not go well the last time, William.
I'm gonna make a wisdom save. I'm kind of a drunkard. Does 14 save?
It's up to you.
Mm,
Is that high enough for William?
yeah,
Up
that's
to
right.
William.
He's been drunk for most of this adventure, so I would assume 14 isn't. We'll see how he thinks about it after this drink.
He slugs it back.
He is careful with it. He takes like a tiny sip and sees what happens.
Roll me a 1d100.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
He turns into a unicorn.
That's
No.
how they reproduce.
No.
That's how there's unicorns.
Your body tingles somewhat, and you feel very good.
Alright. I like it.
Ah, excellent, sir.
Would you want to try some of the material plane drinks?
right now.
Alright. I'll take one of these bottles with me and see and experiment further with it for later.
What about the rest of you? What do the rest of you guys do at this point?
Um, take out some of my rations and nibble on it.
Alright. And at this point, I'm going to call for a 5-minute break for bathroom and checking on things. And since I don't have a walk around
Alright.
microphone anymore, I'm going to have to leave it here and can't hear you guys. 5-minute break.
Oh boy. So, anyone gonna stay and make plans?
Oh, what's that plan, really? We don't really know where to go.
Hmm. Let's just recruit one of these unicorns and take them back to the material plane. Sell
No.
it to circus.
No.
Why not?
That would be paramount.
Ponies don't have rights.
I'm pretty sure in this world they do, so they have right.
So once
My
we
eye.
cross the border.
No. They started with rights, they still have their right.
Hmm. Gotta go to the toilet. I hate the robot.
Well done.
And back.
Welcome.
Things John has learned. Check for traps. Don't let fire near methane. And don't take food from strangers. All good things. So just let me know when everybody's ready.
Back.
Welcome back. So William seems to be having fun. He didn't die from drinking Feywild booze. Or at least the first thing he drank.
But the second thing.
Hi there. Didn't mean to wake you up. I just went over to say hello to you.
Hey.
So who are we still missing?
I'm here.
Sweet. Back on the road.
I think we're
So you see that the satyr is now fingering the various coins that you guys have given him. And he pulls off a large key from a group of them at his belt and hands it over. It says, there should be a room upstairs for you.
Why, thank you.
Just make sure to drop it off again before you leave here.
Will do. And I start to room.
What do the rest of you do?
Are we all sharing a room?
He only gave you one key.
They would have to, unless you want to try and get another. But,
Yeah.
honestly,
William is planning to pass out in the bar.
I'll follow Rabbit.
I'm guessing John's following the rest. The rest of the book nerds are staying together.
Yeah.
We're We're Sunday in Rhianningo. I bet John follows, leaving only William in the bar. And yes, Evil, we are long resting. So, as William goes back to his drink, the rest of you go up to the single room you've been given. You open it up with the key and discover a large room with pillows all along the exterior, and in the middle is what appears to be a very large round bed that could probably accommodate at least 6 people sleeping on it. We're talking normal-sized people, not halflings.
Cozy.
well, that's definitely enough room, isn't it?
There's also a little curtain. There's no windows, but there's like curtains shaped all around the bed. But they're all see-through. But they're just delicate lace, just hanging around there.
Cozy. I take my armor off and just fall down face first in the bed.
I do the same.
So, William, can you continue with your drink?
Yeah.
Yeah, after a few minutes, that weird tingling sensation goes away from that first sip that you took.
Mm-hmm.
And now, yes, the bartender looks at you and says, do you want to try something else? See if you live through it?
Alright.
So he pulls out something that is very bright red, and pours it into a drink, into another glass, and hands it to you. Try this. See
I'm
what.
gonna check if I have any spell that. Nope, I don't have any spell that would help me with it. I'll cast guidance on myself. Just to be safe.
Alright.
I'll drink from the cup.
Roll a 1d100.
Oh no. I'm rolling high. I don't know whether high is good or bad, but I'm rolling decently high.
You appear to be hallucinating because all of a sudden you think you see butterflies and flowers just floating in the air around you.
This is what I'm talking about.
The butterflies are dipping into the floating flowers and they appear to be dancing with each other. And they're just all circling your head.
This is some good shit. I'll take another one of these.
In case you guys didn't notice, John is casting alarm on the room. So, it's basically the illusion of the butterflies and flowers lasts even for a while after you finish the nice bright red liquid.
How about I give you 2 coins for 1 bottle of each of those? Would you like? Would that seem fair to you? Or you can get 4 coins. It's fine.
He holds up the 2 flasks that he'd been pouring from. You wish to buy these?
With material money, because I don't have anything else. Unless you want a pillow with a very high threat count.
Let's go with this for now, and maybe we'll test out your pillow later. He grins at you.
Now I'm scared.
Ooh, kinky.
This is a satyr we're talking about, and there are other satyrs around.
I hope we don't accidentally pick this room.
Instead of a
John,
sugar daddy, he's an alcohol daddy.
John alarmed it, so you guys are good.
Alright. I think. And he's going to go sleep on the table now because he has had enough, and he doesn't want to. I don't want to be forced to make a 3rd roll because if you put it in front of me, I'm gonna drink it. So he's going to sleep now on the counter. Hopefully, he's gonna wake up unviolated tomorrow.
Well,
that's a good question as to whether William's going to wake up at all. But anyway, the 4 of you, the rest of the 4 of you, like, you know, Rhiannon, John, Adler, and not William, Sunday, all kind of curl up on the bed and all have their own individual space on the round bed and all eventually fall asleep. No alarm goes off because William never comes to the room, so John's alarm spell never goes off with him. And nobody tries to get in. Eventually you wake up feeling fully rested. Oh yeah, Raja's also there. I keep forgetting Raja's with you. Yeah, Raja also kind of laid on the bed, and she kind of like sat there for a while staring off into space, and then finally went to sleep around the time that Adler clearly woke up, or was not awake, but more alert than he was before. So now all of you are kind of like waking up, feeling fully rested, everything recovered.
Okay, now time to go find these spies and maybe kill them.
Before we leave, Rhiannon's going to meditate, say a little prayer.
Yeah, and your other
I'm
companion is
just stating
making.
that for the record. You don't have to do it.
William is also gonna switch out a spell.
Yeah, that's what Roger's doing too. And she thinks for a moment, and looks around. Do I need 2 healing spells, or should I or should I think about speaking with animals today? She offers.
Well, they wouldn't be normal animals, would they?
She shrugs. That's why I'm wondering if we should take it or not. Who knows how many others speak common the way these ones do.
Fine, take it.
Anybody else even speak with animals? I don't think so. I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
She nods. I will keep good berry and create and destroy water though, just in case we need supplies at a run. Yeah, she fixes up her list. And gets up for the day.
Okay. Sunday's gonna walk out of the room and go looking for William.
Yeah. Let's see. What deplorable things has happened to William since he went unconscious in a tavern with unknown individuals around him? William, roll me a 1d100.
I'll find him naked.
On the chandelier.
I walk back upstairs and go to bed.
So you find him kind of at a bar stool, but at first you're not sure it's him. I mean, you can tell it's him by the clothing, but he doesn't look right. His skin is completely blue in color.
Right. I'm just gonna sit down next to him and just start taking notes, looking at his appearance.
Oh my god.
Blue, double D, double die. If I was free, I would
To
fly.
test, I'm just gonna poke at his face. See, is he cold? Is he warm?
He appears to be normal normal temperature, but he himself is blue.
Alright, then I'm just gonna go, William? Just push him back and forth a bit.
Yeah. What is it?
Even his tongue is blue, and the inside of his mouth.
Why are you looking so strangely at me?
And the whites of his eyes are a lighter shade of blue.
Maybe because you're blue.
I'm not blue.
Have a look at your hand.
And his hair is very dark blue.
Oh.
I think we both of us are drunk.
No.
Are you sure? I don't remember
Well, I
being blue. And I don't remember walking into a paint factory.
I'm gonna take out a rag and put some water on it and just try to see if I can rub the color off of his arm or something.
I mean, it looks cool.
It appears to be his natural skin tone now. It doesn't appear to be paint coloring of any kind. It looks like it looks like he's become a lot like those elves that were blue outside.
Well, you're blue.
I'll drink some more. At this point,
How much did you drink last night?
like 2 glasses.
Uh,
I'll make myself a purple drink and drink that because I'm.
Roll 1d100.
oh, oh my god! I just sit there terrified as you make 2 drinks, and I just go to my notebook. Yeah.
All right. Sunday. Roll a roll a Constitution saving throw, Sunday.
Why was I on a Constitution saving throw?
I like it.
You're watching him drink, but suddenly something in your throat just seems to be trying to expel itself. You feel very sick, as if you're the one drinking this, and you feel like you need to throw up. That your entire body is racked with shivers.
I run outside into the closest bush and just.
There aren't any bushes, but it's still very dark outside, and there's snow, and there's occasionally mushrooms the size of bushes out there, and you seem to throw up on one of them.
If he is puking, he's drunk, which means I'm drunk, which means I'm not blue. Alright, my world is back in order.
We're unfortunately very blue.
I don't know that.
Sunday, you hear the sound. Sorry, Rhiannon, you hear the sound of Sunday throwing up outside.
And I see a blue William.
You see a blue humanoid wearing William's clothing. It might be William, it might not be.
What the heck?
Hey, Rhiannon.
I'll also make my way down.
Oh. What did you do last night?
Honestly, I had like 2 drinks, and after that, I don't know. But apparently, I'm not blue because Sunday is puking, and he said I'm blue, which means I think we're both drunk. So I'm not blue.
He is definitely blue.
And he's over there puking?
I'm just looking into the door. Yeah, and William is. Look back outside. I go.
He's very drunk right now.
And yet we're supposed to go and on this mission so Adler doesn't die. And y'all thought that drinking was a great idea?
Hey, I don't look.
Do you remember my life here is at stake, you know?
Look, I work best when I'm for 80% intoxicated.
80%.
You're blue, so you don't have much of a say in things.
I blend
Not
in
like
with
when
the
you're
crowd
back to
here.
normal.
I would say this is an advantage. I look like the other people here. This is an advantage, not a disadvantage.
You don't look.
Well, we are trying. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna say that out loud. Never mind. Because I don't know who's listening.
Let's just go.
Let's go.
Alright.
Okay, so we head in the direction that is actually north.
I need to change my pink color to blue.
John is basically staring at Quentin for a while, open mouthed, and going, huh. And, he's following along after you. Through the snow streets. And, of course, you notice that despite having a full night's rest, that it's still dark outside.
Yep, kinda guessed that was gonna be the case.
Oh, yep. You are into the domain of night. So this is to be expected.
So wait, the seasons never change here either? I'm just gonna say out loud.
I think because we are in the Kingdom of Night, I think this is their preferred season. I think maybe when we move to different areas, the seasons. That's I don't know. I've never been here, but
Yeah, I can.
Do they have like a guide?
I doubt.
Frommers
sure.
for the Feywild.
The Feywild in you.
The Michelin star guide.
Night Kingdom 1 star.
Alright. So you head up along the North Road, which is actually more of like a northeasterly road from, now that you're properly oriented to what they consider north. And you head out that for a while. Roll me a 1d100, whoever's leading the party.
Since you're like shackled for death, do you want me to?
Yeah, you can. Take
Okay.
Oops,
Since you're
sorry.
doing too much.
Sorry guys, I used the wrong setup thingy. Huh, actually, it has all of your guys here. I don't need to replace them. Excellent. I just need to move these back to the GM layer. Woo! So yeah. I just need Raja on here. And there we go. Okay, so Rhiannon rolled a 34. Alright, give me 1 second. Alright, everybody roll your perception thing.
Rolling it back.
Let's see.
Hey, Blue Eyes, help me with seeing.
Rhiannon. And William. William, you see some kind of little winged light flying around Adler's feet for a moment, but of course, you're drunk. You've seen things like this before when you're drunk. But, Rhiannon, you happen to see it too. You see something, something sparkle in the darkness, kind of flying around Adler's feet. The rest of you notice nothing.
She turns around and checks it out.
Adler, roll me a dexterity check. Alright. So, you don't notice in time, Adler, that something has either, if you have them, has tied your shoelaces together, and if you don't have them, has somehow managed to tie a rope around your 2 feet, knotted them together to cause you to trip and fall.
Ow.
Kind of like face plant into the snow, and your nose feels very cold.
Do I notice that it's the glittering little pixie leg thing?
Yeah, the flitting little light. You hear Rhiannon, you hear kind of a little giggle as the light attempts to fly away.
What was that? What just
I'll
happened?
get back.
That wasn't very nice. She'll yell out and helps Adler.
You hear Rhiannon. The others don't hear this. You're hearing a very high-pitched giggle that's even further. That it looks like whoever's giggling really does think it's funny.
I untie the knot around his feet.
Are you okay, Adler?
Other than being cold and there suddenly being rope. Yeah, I'm fine.
How did you get a rope around your ankles?
That's a good question.
Would I know what I saw from my readings?
I'm gonna give it to you unless you really botch your history check.
Oh shit.
You kind of have you didn't botch it completely, but you kind of like have a memory of like some kind of tricky light, like a pixie or something, just a fairy sprite, something like that. That kind of looks like that might have done this.
I think it might have been a pixie or a fairy just having a laugh at us.
As long as it's not trying to kill us.
Or chrono check on William. I'm sorry, I didn't notice. I'm sorry, John. I didn't see the feed until just now. Hold on, I'll run an chrono check for you. Sorry, I just noticed that he was posting on the chat thing, which I don't always look at compared to the Discord thing, which I do. Give me 1 second to roll Arcana for him. Yeah, you definitely had the vague impression, John, that something magical happened to William. You're not sure what, but you think maybe a removed curse will turn him back. Now, I apologize for the disruption, because it's my bad that I didn't notice till just now you posted that. But, Rhiannon. I think you were suggesting that, a pixie or a fairy or something like that.
Sorry. Yeah, I said that out loud to the group. I was like, I think it was just having a laugh at us, but I think it's harmless.
Well, as long as it's not trying to kill us, that's...
How many pixies would there be in the Kingdom of Knights? Because it doesn't really sound like a pixie place. Granted, I don't know.
Maybe it's a spy.
I highly doubt that.
Why?
Because it would be acting a bit more cautious if it was a spy.
Well, maybe that was its way to defend itself. You don't know.
Roger kind of looks at you guys and it says, "How would a pixie spy know that we are any sort of threat?" She suggests. "Why would then four need to be cautious? We do not look like..." Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about the portent. It does not look... Sorry. We do not look like we are agents of winter. We are simply travelers on a road.
Who knows these things? Why do four guys just randomly eat stew from a random person? Who fucking knows?
Exactly.
It's because they're idiots. She
Why do
concerns.
people turn blue
I'm
all of a
not
sudden?
an idiot, thank you.
Because they're idiots. She continues.
Why do trees grab people from ponds?
Because they're flesh eating.
Alright, that makes sense.
So are we gonna follow the pixie or be let the pixie be?
Nah.
Alright.
That's what Rhiannon said. She's like,
Alright. I'll go pixie slaying some other day.
Poor Pixie. Is that anything like rabbit hunting?
What?
Bugs Bunny cartoons, sorry. I was thinking like, slay the rabbit, and said slay the pixie. Yeah. Just something from my childhood. So, you guys continue on ignoring the pixie and just thinking it's a jokester. Do you continue on the road, or do you leave the road at any point?
I say stay on the road.
yeah, I think stay on the road as well.
Alright.
Alright.
So, after another hour or two of walking, considering the your hunger level starting to come up and your legs aching, possibly, since you walk every day, maybe not aching, but you just hear the sound of hoof beats coming from the direction you're walking in.
More hoofbeat.
Alright, should we hide?
Sure.
Why
Unless you want a second bracelet.
I can just
Roger
say
kind of Roger kind of looks at you guys and goes, "How are we going to hide our footprints?" And she points down at the snow we've all been walking in.
Exactly. No point in hiding.
Alright.
Plus, if they want to know, I can just show the bracelet if I have to.
And
Sure.
What if they're from the other kingdom?
Then we found him. Success.
Point taken. Alright, I take out my crossbow and hold it behind my back.
So, after a while, of course, you see what looks like another patrol, like met you the other night. These are definitely different individuals, but they kind of look like they're the same types of creatures, pony-sized, unicorns, black. It's just one of them, one of them has a white mane, another one has a red mane. They kind of stop as you guys get there and say, "Halt! Who goes there?"
We're just travelers at the moment.
Hold up the tokens that she gave us.
She didn't give us.
She didn't give us.
But she did put a shackle on.
Sorry, that's right.
So I'm guessing you kind of lift that up.
Yeah, it's like we're kind of supposed to be here.
You think that traveling the roads is the best way to go?
Do you have a better suggestion?
No, I mean that if you've been sent out on a mission to prove yourselves, that you should probably consider walking out into into the forests and seeing if you can find the enemy there.
You probably walked back to the forest. Yeah, you walked back to
I guess I'll
fair
go
point.
to the forest. Let's
guess-
see how stealthy a blue person can be in a green forest.
Alright, I guess we're going through the forest now.
They kind of sit back and watch you and then continue along the road. It seems like the roads themselves might have been made to make hoof traveling more easy for them rather than other travelers. You haven't really seen other travelers, just them so far.
Oh, I know what's best for you. Hey.
So into the woods you go. You've been shamed into it. The forest. Now that you're further away from the swamps, the forest just covered in trees look more like a sad Christmas tree farm. Not that your characters have ever seen one, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Or some of you do, at least.
Yeah.
Where it's like all wintergreen winter type trees and covered in snow, but none of them look like they're very healthy because they're not getting much in the way of sunlight, if ever. So as you guys continue to walk along, roll whoever's in front. Please roll me a 1d100.
My turn.
Go for it.
Perfect in the middle, almost.
Alright. Oops. You're in the forest now. Okay. So, as you're walking along, begin to pick up like some forest sounds. The occasional, what appears to be a rabbit kind of walking by, hopping by in the underbrush, on the snow. Other little sounds of tip, bip, 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 bip as you walk through the snow. You can concentrate yourself. But now you're kind of hearing this weird kind of mumbling. Definitely more like a person or some weird creature you've never seen before making that noise. And it seems to be coming from up ahead, close to a crop of trees. A couple of which seem to have fallen down.
Well, I guess we have a direction to go in.
Or just basically get low and just go, okay. Let's sneak up on them.
Yeah, let's tell.
Let's go find out who they are.
That seems right for a blue boy.
Yeah, let's stealth his ass as he walks into a branch.
You hear kind of like, as soon as you hit that branch and just like kind of get knocked into it and some snow falls down from the tree, you hear the sound, coming from up ahead.
Well, you know what? We're here now, so no point trying to hide. Thank you, William, for that.
Yeah, thanks, William.
No problem. Glad to have been of help.
You hear something seemingly chuckling from up ahead.
Oh boy.
Hey. Nice to meet you. I'm William.
As you hear something moving up ahead, you hear something that sounds like it has very heavy feet. You just hear a sudden swoosh onto the ground. It's just very heavy footsteps. Oosh, 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 coming towards you.
Stand up, back behind William and take out my crossbow.
Line up, put your tokens out over here.
Where do you want them?
Down here.
Oh, alright. Let's see. I'm gonna be old William here. Because I'm fat.
Where are our tokens? Oh, you're pulling them up.
No, I'm just pulling out the ones I'm controlling at the moment. You can pull them off your page and put them down.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, how do we do that? I've never done that before.
Oh, you left click on your thing, just on your name, and just drag it over from the side panel, from the journal page.
The journal page, go to players. Name into the map.
Aha!
Huzzah!
Yeah. So Adler and William are the ones so they're out front. So you kind of hear a grumbling of some kind, and you're just kind of hearing something coming from this direction up here.
Right. Well, might well see who they are.
Yeah, let's go. Hi, I come.
No, before you can even get up that fast, William, you suddenly hear aha at your legs, and something strikes out at you. Before you can react to anything else, let me pull the NPC out, and it gets a free swing at you because that's what it can do. It looks like a small gnome.
Oh no.
With a blood red cap.
Oh no.
Oh
And get that slash out at Willie before you can do anything.
Oh my god.
It squeaks.
These guys were in the last episode of Overlord.
Yes, they were.
But then they were goblins instead of gnomes, I think.
Yeah, they were.
Are these not husnissar?
Oh, they're... Oh, that hits. I forgot, that hit.
So you just basically took a sickle strike right to your legs.
Oh, yeah. Alright.
And it's laughing at you.
And it's gonna go before me again, alright. If it attacks me again, warding flare. So it has this
Sunday!
Oh, that's creepy. And I step up, and I step up, and I use my whip.
Watch me whip. Now watch me nay.
And
Ah!
I use...
It turns its hateful little eyes on you, Sunday.
Oh, in that case... No.
Alright, what's the DC on that?
DC on that is 8 plus 2 plus my strength, so that's 14. I believe.
It's fine. And it laughs at you.
I take another step back.
Rhiannon.
She is going to move and she'll do a Sacred Flame.
And that's dexterity check. Ah!
It's an angry little thing, isn't it?
He has a lot of pent-up anger in it. That's why his cap is red.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior, Daenerys?
Have you recently read a good book?
John kind of goes, fascinating. And casts Firebolt! And then winces as the firebolt kind of hisses down into the snow. And the thing laughs. It kind of glares hatefully at Sunday, but then looks at William and grins evilly.
Warding flare. Please save me warding flare.
What does warding flare do again?
It gives him disadvantage on his attack.
On one attack?
On one attack.
Okay, disadvantage on this one then. So it missed with that. And it gets 2 more. It has multi-attack.
Oh. Oh, good. Oh,
Oh, not bad.
oh, alright. Alright.
As it extorts more blood, as your blood runs red into the sand across your now blue skin.
That was fun. I'm making purple.
Yeah, you kind of look purple, but your blood is still red. Raja kind of like steps around. And goes, poison spray. Constitution saving throw. Come over here. And it turns its hateful gaze on her. And now William.
Shield of Faith. Action. Dodging. No, action dodging, because Warning Flare only does one attack. I can't do anything else, so that's my turn. My AC is 18 now.
And you're dodging. That's pretty good.
Right, I'm just gonna slash at it. Best
And it's glaring up at you.
bring it.
You see its hateful little eyes just gazing up at you, Edler.
Okay, so I am going to use this. But it says forgo one of my attacks, so that means I don't get an attack.
You take the attack action on your turn. You can forgo one of your attacks and use the bonus action to direct one of your companions to strike. When you do so, choose a friendly creature who can see or hear you and expend one superiority die. Yeah, if you only have the one action, then that's all you can do.
In that case, I'm getting Adler to attack again. And
Alright.
You add a superiority die to the damage.
1d8.
1d8. I'm basically just
So
whipping my-
1d8 extra damage.
Yeah. And it's the same damage as your weapon.
Yeah.
So I'm basically just using my whip to distract him, like, go Adler, go!
Rhiannon.
Question is, do I take it out or do I heal William? I would probably heal William. I'm going to heal first.
Tank.
Cast it at the second level.
Yay, William's being healed. Let's see.
I might survive one attack.
John goes, magic missile! Go! Go!
I literally rolled all.
Woof, woof, woof. And
Roll.
yeah, I have to roll again, except that I know that roll will kill it, so the missile just kind of bounces right into the thing. There's two other missiles after it, but they don't matter because the red hat kind of dissolves into a spray of blood as if it was never there.
Wow. That was
That is quite a yes, quite a frightening creature. Raja agrees.
I'm gonna walk over to its body.
Its body's not there. It basically dissolved into nothing but red mist, all splattering the snow. Even its weapon and outfit.
They are fun. Alright, let's keep searching for the sun dudes.
Give you a second to dispense with XP. Hi, Lyra. Alright. So everybody gained 115 experience points.
This thing has a lot of XP if it's divided to 5 people and still gives that much.
Uh-huh.
But it did kind of almost kill William.
Yeah.
Alright. So that was not a sun, land, light thingy spy.
I don't
Seems to just be a murderous fiend of some kind, Raja suggests.
Seems like we're gonna keep such.
Right. William, are you feeling okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you're blue and covered in wounds. Felt like I needed to ask. You know, we won't notice if you suffer from hypothermia. You have to tell us.
Wanna get drunk at this point.
Did you want any healing?
William?
Fight one guy.
Okay. Carry on.
I have enough HP, I think.
I'm just gonna look around the forest. Do I feel like anyone else has been through here other than us and an angry little no?
Well, roll a perception check.
Check for foot.
Well, you definitely see the Redcap's footprints. They're kind of like leading back to the rock, and it looks like more snow had fallen recently, covering others. But you also see some, let's see, a few what looks like hoof prints possibly heading off in one direction. And you see the footprints of what looks like 2 humanoids, humans, elves, something like that. Something in booted feet heading off in another direction.
Right, I point out all of the footprints to everyone that I can spot. And I think we might want to follow the two-legged people.
Free animal none. I agree.
I mean, that's probably our best chance.
Good.
So everyone heads off after the footprints. All right.
Wow, Jesus.
Take care.
I mean, either that or it will lead to like a camp of red caps. So
You come across 50 red caps. Oh, bollocks!
No, you'd have to seriously piss somebody off to somehow manage to contain 50 red caps all descend off of one person. Never mind.
You could
You don't know that in character.
create your own little monster. It's a swarm of red caps.
Nah, I wouldn't do that. Alright, so you continue on after a while. And you seem to be getting into a somewhat warmer patch as you continue on. The snow begins to melt. And you seem to be leaving the withered forest and heading back into a more swampy area. Where you see the occasional, poof of little fireballs up into the sky. It doesn't look like the same when you came down. There's much more mushrooms, and you only see the occasional tree that you know to avoid.
Do I still see the footsteps?
No, actually no. Roll perception check for me.
Nope.
You've completely lost track of them.
Right. They must have been swallowed by a tree. Or started flying. It wouldn't be the
Really,
honest
that's
thing.
the best you could come up with?
Oh wait, what? Do you have any better ideas?
I'm going to look for the footprints.
This guy.
My roll's not that much better.
Rihanna, roll perception check, please do it. You never know.
All of y'all are blind.
I don't have a better idea, but the comment of just if it could fly, it would have just flying the entire time.
Maybe they was tired.
Were the tracks we were following heading the same direction for some time by now?
They're kind of weaving a bit, but they're mostly heading here northeast.
Let's just head northeast then.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
All right, who's out front?
I can go.
Then roll the 1d100. Let's see what we find.
1d100 of fate.
Mhm.
53.
Alrighty. And you're here in the swamps. Let's see. Around you, the smell of methane is getting thicker. It feels like to you, since you've been through this a couple times before now, that if you were to use a fire spell or light a torch in this area to light your way because it's so dark, that you might end up burning your eyebrows off, at the very least.
Well, even though you don't have any eyebrows to burn off, John, let's not use fire. Let's
He grimaces. Alright.
Oh, poor John.
So you're continuing through what appears to be a larger methane pocket. The temperature at least is getting warmer here. It's no longer, warm enough to. It's no longer cold enough to support snow in this area. And since you're hearing the occasional burst of flame somewhere nearby, you get the occasional light in the area in the sky. For that, that's my character. Rhiannon, please roll me a wisdom check. Alright. In spite of the occasional lights going off in the sky from the fireballs lifting, you do manage to keep your direction about the same, instead of getting lost and somehow getting turned around or anything like that. Those lights don't disorient you.
Cool.
They probably disorient William, considering he's drunk, but...
I got a hand on his shoulder.
Yeah.
William, this way.
Yes, with you guys to lead him around, it makes it harder for him to get lost. So, eventually you come towards the edge of the swamp, and make it once again to more of a plain area. Roll perception checks.
Lucky number 7.
Sunday, you're the first to see up to where you believe north to be is a large towering mountain type shape all by itself.
I'm just gonna put a point at it and go. That looks out of place. Maybe we should go up on top of it and see if we can get a good view.
Sounds good.
Sure.
How tall is this mountain, Fee?
It appears to be at least at least as high as the average mountain needs to be, but it's no longer near as high as Everest or anything like that, or Kilimanjaro, or that. But it does appear to be a mountain by itself, no range. Just kind of standing there in the middle of things, and you can see forests in the distance flanking it, and what appears to be something white, kind of near its base, but half hidden by the forests.
Okay. I wonder what that is. I think we should head in that direction.
Hang on.
Alright.
Good.
Continue right along. You continue heading up. And eventually the forest kind of swallows you again. More like scrabbling trees that look more like they belong in a tree lot. Christmas trees, and well, in our world, not in the world you guys come from. Your characters come from. And you see the occasional tall meat-eating tree you're going to recognize and avoid. But for the most part, things are fairly quiet. The occasional, screech of something in the night. Caw, caw. Or like, something that you think might be a bat flying around, even though it's cold out. But at least you're not hearing any more of those mumbles. William, would you like to roll a 1d100 for the party?
Ooh.
Yes.
Hi.
Is that the kitten that I hear?
Yeah. He's decided to say hello to me again and just come over and curled up on my chest. So
I was wondering whether or not it was like a helicopter flying by, because it kind of sounded like it. Then I was
She has a
"That's not
very
good."
loud purr. Especially when she sticks her face up near the mic. Anyway. Don't stick your face. Don't stick your butt in my face, Lyra. No button face. Cats are known to do that. Stick their butts right in your face. I need to type, Lyra. No. Oh, Lyra! No, let go. No, let go of the mic. Sorry, she thinks the mic is a toy. Ah! No, don't take your paws away from that. No paw. No paw. Sorry. D&D and kittens. Well, at least there's not a board that she's over there knocking about, Because, you guys know how cats sometimes, handle that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Everybody roll me a perception check. Sunday. As you guys are walking through the forest, you're the first one to notice a small dog-like shape, not that far off from you, kind of walking between the various trees. It stops, and you meet its eyes, staring at you from across the distance.
Going to slowly raise my hand and sort of wave at it. Because I don't know if this thing can talk or not. I'm a little bit confused.
Alright. The dog vanishes, and then suddenly it's underneath, it's right next to you, all of a sudden.
I'll go, oh shit.
It sniffs at you, it kind of lifts up onto its legs and puts a couple paws on your chest and gazes at you.
I look around with the rest of my crew.
Oh, he's so cute.
They say,
It kind of makes a little barking noise, and suddenly a tongue licks out and looks at your face. You notice as you're gazing at this dog that not only does it have really tall ears, but it also has a tuft of fur at the end of its tail, and little spikes coming out of its lower leg, the back of its lower leg and back of its arm, kind of like on its elbow joint, and the backwards knee joint.
Go to pet the dog.
And it seems to be hairless, but it does still definitely look like a dog. It kind of like seems to be making happy noises at you, and licks you again.
Boy.
Boy? Question mark?
Let's see. You're gonna look down and check at the dog? Then roll a 1d2, also known as flip a coin. You are fairly certain this is a boy.
A good boy. I'll take out a ration of dried meat and hand it to it.
It eagerly snaps it up and goes sniffing around you, kind of like pressing its nose to your various parts, especially at your haunches.
I don't think I want to give you any more, otherwise I'll stop.
It kind of paws gently at your leg, although as gently as something with large razor claws can paw, and then it kind of looks over towards Rhiannon.
I know Bruce. Who's a good boy? And she'll pull out a ration as well, and she'll kind of like step away a little bit and see if like she can get it to blink to her.
And it does exactly that. It kind of vanishes from his side and appears right at yours.
Well,
And
this is cool.
Snaps at the ration.
She'll pet the top of his head.
Kind of rubs up against your hand and starts sniffing you. Yeah, it was completely hairless Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Still, maybe.
There could be.
Yeah, my father was allergic, so I was never allowed to keep dogs.
Hey boy, have you seen anybody else in the woods?
The dog tilts its head a bit and kind of makes a weird noise before reaching out a tongue to lick her hand.
Hey boy, are you a summer spy?
It kind of nuzzles at Rhiannon and doesn't seem to either pay attention to you or understand what you're saying.
I look at Adler and go, only a spy would hide its identity. What?
Rhiannon will kind of nudge Raja. Hey Raja, do you think that it might be able to understand you?
She kind of thinks for a moment and just kind of stop it, Lyra, and kind of goes through her mental list. Second, let me stop. Kind of goes through her mental list of languages, and eventually she lands on Sylvan, which the dog. As soon as she says something in Sylvan, the dog's ears perk up further, and it just kind of starts, sits back down, looks at Raja. Raja looks at it, and they start talking in Sylvan. Who speaks Sylvan? Well, yeah, she starts talking to it in Sylvan. It doesn't respond in Sylvan.
Negative.
Adler should be able to.
Silver.
Don't owls get Sylvan?
No, get out.
Let's see if John can understand, which won't make any difference for the rest of the party.
Kind of in the
Nope,
same.
he doesn't.
Abyssal Celestial. Nope.
So she says a few things in Sylvan to it, and the dog kind of like does a few different things that look like dog tricks, like shake the paw, turn in a circle, sit, lay down, that sort of stuff. All in Sylvan. Eventually, the dog sits back up and kind of like, she looks back at the rest of the party and says, "I do not think this thing is a sylvan spy. Is a summer spy. Its coat is quite light in color. It looks like it belongs more to the winter zones than anything else."
Has he seen anybody else in this? Are we swamp? Are we in swamp now?
Yeah, you're currently in the swamp.
Swamp area.
She expresses this to the dog. The dog sniffs a bit and looks off towards the west. You guys are in the forest right now. Sorry, not the swamp. I left you on the swamp map. Sorry, but anyway, it looks off towards the west, which is away from the mountain. And it kind of makes a whimpering noise.
Away from the mountain.
Yeah. Because you guys are heading north, and it's now pointing you off towards the west.
And the mountains to the east.
The mountains to the north.
Okay. Well, do we want to check out the bottom of the mountain, or do we want to possibly see if he can lead us to other people?
Abba,
Yes.
what do you think?
Don't.
Technically, we know the direction because he pointed at it, so we can still go check out the base of the mountain, and then when we come to there, we can head directly west.
Yeah, but the mountain isn't going to move.
Well, this is the Feywild. We don't know that.
Alright, I'm just gonna look out into the wilderness and go, fuck you, Feywild. I vote for dog.
Yeah, let's go with that then.
So we're going west?
Sure.
Go west.
Follow the dog! The dog knows where it's going! Apparently.
We think.
Sure, yeah. You guys follow after the dog. And the dog kind of makes quicker time. You eventually come across footprints once again. This time there seems to be a lot more of them. More than just the couple of booted footprints that you saw before. A lot more.
She'll pull out another ration and give it to the dog and just say, "Good boy."
The dog snaps it up and continues to follow along.
Follow footprints? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We follow footprints.
The footprints we follow.
Makes me think of following the yellow brick road that you're making jokes of earlier.
Follow the teleporting dog. The teleporting dog.
Well, in this case, the dog is, kind of like staying close to you guys, so it doesn't lose track of you. If it teleported you, it would quickly lose track of you. Of course, it could be like the Flash and just kind of move very fast, but who knows. Anyway, so after a little while, you start hearing noises up ahead.
What kind of noises do we hear?
You hear voices speaking in Elvish.
Ooh, I can understand that.
I can understand that.
I do not.
So Sunday, as far as you're hearing what appears to be yelling in a musical language. And for the rest of you, you're hearing surrender now, and we won't have to kill you.
Ooh, okay, I'm going to pick up my pace, head towards where I heard the noise.
The dog kind of whimpers slightly.
I'll follow Adler at his pace.
Rhiannon's gonna turn to the dog and be like, "Good boy, stay." Oh shit! He doesn't right. Raja.
Raja kind of like communicates this with the dog.
Thank you. And I will follow suit with Adler.
I'll follow.
Being covert as possible.
Roll stealth if you're trying to be stealthy.
Ooh.
She will say a little prayer for guidance.
Oh,
I
no,
should really
be stealthy
guide
is
him.
bad.
I have
Super
disadvantage on this, so I am gonna go ahead
So
and
do
roll that
I.
ahead of time. Yeah.
It's not that bad. Not as worse than I thought it would be.
So pretty much all of you are stumbling along here. And you hear somebody say in Elven, except for Rhiannon, of course, is hiding behind something. There's noise coming from that direction. You two, check that out.
What did he say?
They know we're here.
They know we're here. Be prepared.
Fuck.
Adler, is this a kick butt and ask questions later kind of situation? Are you sure?
Should I blind
Sure.
fire with my crossbow?
No.
No.
We'll try and get through this without any violence.
I don't know what they're saying, so I'll believe that's an option.
It should be.
Well, let's see your diplomatic side, Atla.
Oh no.
Alright. No, that would not be there. Alright. Sorry, I'm trying to find the right thing that's supposed to be there for them, not something that'll... Thing. Ah. Alright. So... No, that wouldn't be that. Damn it. Oh. So... You hear kind of some noises walking through the woods. And suddenly you're confronted with two satyrs walking around the trees. They appear to be dressed in bright colors, unlike the satyrs you'd seen before back in the one town you were in, who were in gray subdued. These ones definitely look more light. Their beards and hair are all lighter colored, more like Adler's hair. They kind of stare and yell back something in Elvish.
What did they say?
They're basically saying, "Hey, we've got more people over here."
Wait, we're not. Guess already.
I mean, I'm just rolling initiative if it comes up. I really don't like the position I'm in. I should. I'll start dodging as we're talking.
Oh, I thought I had it bad. Nice roll, Adler.
Yes. The best roll ever.
I just need to be honest.
What is that roll? Natural 1 plus 2.
So am I dodging? Because I am dodging.
Okay. Raja kind of stays back with the blink dog, just to make sure if anything comes close enough to hit, to strike out at it, that she will keep it safe. John kind of moves over here and does his normal waving his hands and casting. Nobody wanted to yell. He casts Firebolt, of course. No, I was just like figuring somebody else was going to, because he always casts the same thing. And he kind of curses when it misses.
Well, I guess Porky is out of the office.
For all they know, he was trying to start a campfire.
The satyr kind of like runs forward and swings out at William.
Boarding flare.
You're already dodging, aren't you?
I don't know if the DM allowed me to dodge. so
Oh
I
yes, you would have, but it misses
don't-
anyway.
Alright.
Rhiannon!
Is diplomacy out the window at this point?
Yes.
We heard somebody else commanding them, so
Okay. So, and William, you are dodging right now, you said?
Yeah. I'm fine. I'll decide what I'll do next turn, but I'm totally fine for going into combat.
Okay, so, I will... I'm going to cast a spell on William. I'm going to do protection from evil and good.
yes, the one thing that won't help you against the satyr.
Aren't they considered Fae?
Oh no, that's right. Sorry. No, I was thinking evil and good in terms of alignment, and I'm thinking satyrs are neutral. Ah, that's right. 'cause
No.
it's the one that's
Fae.
Fae, fiends, and undead. All right, that's right. Yeah, the name is from evil and good is the weird one. Sorry.
Yeah, there's some spells that are written, some of the wording, it's just like,
Yeah.
for example, like, turn undead literally means turn around and leave.
Yeah, whereas I've always treated it as the undead can vanish or something bad effect can happen to them, because that's usually what happens with turn undead with me. Of course, you can't turn around and leave in your own lair, but you can't appear in your own lair, which is what happened with the Alep. William.
Well, seeing they have disadvantage on attack rolls against me, I guess I'll go all out.
Yeah, that
Um,
way you don't have to dodge.
I'll use... First, I'll poke him with my short sword,
Oof.
and then minimal damage. And then I'm gonna punch him in the face twice. Oh, that's the wrong button. It should have been this one.
Alright. What's the damage on that then?
That's 7, and I'm gonna use a key point to punch him again.
And
That
that one misses.
Alright,
Sunday.
that's it.
Um,
I'm gonna stand in between them, why not?
okay, in that case, I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna throw my net on blue.
That's me.
No. Shit. I think if that AC hits, it's just in the net.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. You can see the satyr struggling.
And yeah, no, that's all I do. Yep.
So the satyr strikes back at William.
Disadvantage, luckily.
And he said it has, that. Oh,
That
it
misses.
misses because it's a disadvantage. Adler!
Alright. Gonna have to go up here and slash at it.
Does that mean you get advantage on attacks?
Yeah. It's because it's restrained.
Alright, you're also damaging the net as you slash at it.
That's fine.
No.
If you're using a piercing attack, then I would say you can pierce it without damaging the net. Since you're slashing, you're damaging the net. Bludgeoning, it would probably be half damage to the net, but slashing, no. The slashing cuts through ropes. So that thing that thing damages nets. Unless, of course, the net's made out of stronger stuff, at which point that could actually impede the damage from a slashing attack.
Okay, so how much damage does the net take?
Alright. Well, the AC is 10, and it probably takes only about half of that damage. So
it's broken.
No, it takes about half the slashing damage, which means that it's taking 5 damage at the moment.
So it's broken.
Oh, it says 5, it says 5 slashing. I was thinking there was reading 5 AC, and for some reason thinking, yeah. So yeah, the net broke. Adler kind of like slashed through it to grievously wound the satyr.
I gave you one advantage at least.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say there. Come on! You owe me a net.
What was I supposed to do? Not slash at it?
You hit it!
And John kind of cracks his knuckles and goes, "Magic missile!" Oh, he only gets 3, I think.
Yeah.
6.
Because it's level 1.
Yeah. That satyr looks like it's about to die. He's gasping for air and just kind of like, mumbles something in Elvish that sounds like "for summer," and dives at Adler. Adler?
Yeah.
This thing is diving at you, but of course it's not able to do any damage, but it's still there in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhiannon, what do you do?
Sacred flame! On blue. Right there. No.
Huh.
Damn it!
It actually survived that. William!
Alright. I'm gonna kick the one behind me. Ooh, that misses. Unless I have advantage, which I don't.
Non-red, you do.
I guess I'm gonna try to slash him then.
Got him.
I'm not gonna use a key point, so... Alright.
Sunday!
Okay. I am going to step up here. And... You know what? I'll just go with my whip on him.
Crack.
On blue.
And blue goes down, dead. And you hear somebody call out, "Ugh, do I have to do everything myself?" in Elvish. Which, of course, Sunday just hear yelling. And, let's see, that satyr kind of points at you, and you see him, yeah, "You took down my, brother," or something along those lines. People in Elvish hear that, and he goes charging at Sunday.
What are you saying?
He's coming for you, Sunday!
Oh shit! Yeah, that hits.
And he rams you with his horns. Right in the
Ow.
gut.
Ow!
Adler.
Uncalled for.
I'll go charge at him and say, "You're the one that attacked us!" as I slap.
And you miss. And you see a form heading towards you. Very bright and sparkly. Very elven looking.
Kinda escalating it.
Kind of points at you and speaks in Elven. "Desist this at once. You do not wear the standards of winter."
You're the one that attacked us! I'm only acting in self-defense right now.
What are you all saying right now?
Poor Sunday.
Three animals like start just kind of like whispering in common everything that they're saying, so you can understand.
Just so Sunday doesn't feel left out.
Yeah.
I'm always one sentence behind.
Like, desist, or feel my wrath.
This guy. Well, our Adler's gonna die.
These guys don't seem so. I mean, yes, these guys that were attacking right now did attack us, but who wants to? Seem to want to.
They're invading foreign territory and spying on their neighbors. That isn't good behavior, is it?
Every kingdom has spy.
Dark Queen was kind of a douche.
How do you know that? They were pretty okay. They were just pretty defensive. You're just being seasoned.
They were over defensive. Remember this bracelet?
Yeah, they're literally forcing us to kill people just because otherwise Adler will die.
You guys said you wanted to prove who you were.
Yeah, I wasn't fully expecting to kill people.
But they're gonna kill you if we don't do it, Adler. What are we gonna do?
Out of good conscience, if they want a diplomatic solution, I don't want to have to hack them if they want a peaceful resolution.
mean, do they really want that? Who knows what they're gonna do to us once we desist?
Maybe we just explain the situation and hope for the best, if they really are diplomatic.
That's like
Sunday's gonna take his whip, put it on his hip, and raise his hands above.
Alright. What about the rest of you?
I'll drop my short sword. It's not like I need it to kill them, but you know.
You don't tell him that.
I don't tell them that. No. I will be kind of like hip hopping, dodging kind of a bit, but I'm safe because I have protection from good and evil. But still, you know.
The blazing looking elf just comes a bit further in, and is like, kind of gazing at the rest of you.
You speak common.
Yes.
That would be very helpful.
What are you doing in this contested area?
We're kind of lost, and our friend is kind of forced to do shit because he has this like
right
weird
now,
bracelet.
We're actually trying to find our way back to the material plane, but we ended up in a worse situation than we were previously.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Yeah, this is a problem that we've stuck with.
So they enslaved you and forced to kill my agents.
Pretty much. Do you have a way of destroying this?
He kind of like moves cautiously towards you, keeping an eye on you, and you get this feeling that if you tried to attack him at this point when he's in close into this thing, that you would probably not have a good reaction to it. He moves over and reaches out a hand towards Adler.
Okay, I'm not gonna try anything.
Alright, he grips around the bone. Yeah, John's also put down his weapons. Not that he's probably just pointing his fingers down. John, sorry. the elf reaches out to Adler and wraps his hand around the shackle, and you can feel your arm heating up greatly, Adler. Roll a 1d6. Ouch. So, here's what happens to you, Adler. As the charm shackle is being removed, you can feel the flesh underneath of it, this sizzle and pop. Great waves of pain through your body as incredible damage is done to you. 5 points of permanent health as the thing burns away, your flesh completely discolored almost down to the bone from the release of the charm.
Ow!
Shit.
Wow, then.
He looks at you and says, "That would have killed you in another few minutes had you not submitted to it.
I'm well aware of that thing.
Better to take on the scars than to take death, now isn't it?"
You mean there was a timer on this thing?
No, but I imagine that the agents of winter would have easily killed you with it, knowing that we were here nearby and that you were cooperating with us.
I never liked winter anyway.
I'm still kind of indifferent about the whole thing.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
Hey.
Sorry, I had to. It's just too good to pass up. Sorry, you can redact that.
No, don't redact it. It's a great line.
Well,
There's also a great line in Deadpool 2 where he finally realizes, wait a second, isn't the song from Yentl what the people from Frozen stole?
Yeah.
So it's like, both songs now are playing through my head nonstop.
anyway, thank you for the help of getting rid of this stupid bracelet thing.
Yes, thank you for the permanent scar.
Better than death.
The satyr that doesn't appear to understand you is just kind of glaring, and the elf, or the eladrin rather, is like kind of like looking down at it and going. This happens in battle. Do not take it out on them because the battle needed to be done.
I'm gonna grab Adler's arm and just inspect the wound.
Really? You're gonna start inspecting?
Look,
Why
I'm
would
doing
really-
this less of research and more of look. Okay, it's a little bit of research.
Yeah,
Okay.
fun though.
Mostly research. But look, I care for your health, okay?
I think you care more about research than my health, I'm pretty sure.
But also your health.
Well, I'm fine.
Are you sure? That looked like it hurts.
Well, no duh, it hurt.
Do you guys know a way out of the Feywild?
Do you happen to have a way to get to the material plane?
Not me personally, no. I've never been there. But we can at least get you out of these cold and dark lands to somewhere proper. Somewhere at least that has the sun at some points, and not just permanent nighttime.
Right? Sure.
Come along. He kind of like, the satyr kind of moves around behind you guys, kind of like keeping his distance a bit. As the elf, or the eladrin, starts walking.
I'll follow along. Yes, but kind of don't have a choice. We don't know where to go in that regard.
She'll follow. I just need to say that.
So he's like shaking his head as he looks around. It looks like there was another battle nearby recently, but whoever this Eladrin was fighting with seems to have departed. And it seems like, he's upset about this because he had to come over and find out what's going on with you guys and had to stop whatever he was doing over here. And you hear him mumbling something about they got away, and you don't know what he was talking about. And if you try questioning him, he refuses to say anything of that matter. He acts as if you did not talk to him at all about it. As he continues to walk. But, of course, you guys are free to investigate the scene as he walks by it.
Oh,
I'll pass an eye.
that's nice. Investigation.
Yep.
Oh.
Great investigation.
Yeah, I'll
You can't determine anything. Oh, Adler.
There
Yeah, as you pass by, you can see the definite, even though the snow's all melted away from this area, you can tell the definite impression of the two boot prints that you had been following before. Two distinct people. Clearly the Eladrin is barely leaving any mark whatsoever, even with the exception of, at least on the ground that's already melted. But of course you can notice that when the Eladrin's stepping, the Eladrin's feet are at least melting the snow. And you can see small hoof prints from the satyr as he walks. But beyond that, the Eladrin doesn't really leave any prints. But these distinct boot prints are from something else, possibly something more human.
Interesting. But all in all, kind of point. Or, at this point in time.
So you guys continue to follow off. He is leading you miles through.
I want to ask the Eladrin if he knows where the Fall Kingdom is, because that sounds very nice.
He kind of looks at you and says, "There is no such thing as the Fall Kingdom. They are but mercenaries."
What about the spring?
Same. Fallen Spring are mercenary types.
And which way would that be?
They are everywhere. They have no land of their own, but they can be found pretty much anywhere.
Well, there goes that.
Alright.
Is there any place that's neutral to this conflict?
I guess that depends. Which conflict do you refer to? Simply the summer-winter eternal conflict? There are plenty of what can be called neutral areas, but we do not go there. They are sort of isolated from one another.
Yeah, I don't. Conflicts. So I'm not from around here,
Yeah, we're not familiar with, or am I familiar with their conflicts? Have I read anything?
You
about
might
them?
have. Roll a history check. And give yourself +5 for all your book reading. Oh, you don't even need that. Yeah, you kind of think back and think about all the stuff you've read about the Feywilds, and they have multiple kingdoms and domains and alliances, but the main two are, basically the Feywild is huge and vast. There's a lot of little isolated pockets that would fill up a world on its own. The Feywild kind of winds in and out of many worlds. Sometimes it's directly parallel to the material plane. Other times it's not. But it still winds up connecting the different sections to the material, to various worlds that you, according to your reading, and lots of the area is ruled by the seasonal kingdom throne, which either has summer or winter, leading off a lot of the what's called unallied areas that aren't controlled directly by summer or winter, but only by the throne itself. And then there's a lot of what was it? The Dominion of Night, the Dominion of Light. There's various elemental alliances that you've read about. Alliance of Fire, Alliance of Earth, Alliance of Water, Alliance of Air, that sort of stuff. And of course, there's various minor lords and ladies. So it's very tangled. It's like, almost insane outside of the Feywilds, the way that they deal with politics. So the concept of a neutral state is like laughable to most of them. You just basically have to find an area that's not part of the normal seasonal kingdoms, which has a very difficult ways in and out. They're almost like their own worlds inside the Feywild. Kind of like the way the domains of Dread work in the Shadowfell. That help?
I will be like, well, let me tell you a story, everybody, and I relay all that information.
Huh.
That not much of a story. It's more of an explanation.
That's more of a
But
history
okay.
lesson.
Yeah.
Also, why are you telling us today and not yesterday?
It just came to me right now. I was about losing previous knowledge from my journal.
Alright,
What
sorry.
about when we first entered the Feywild?
I was dealing with a mad person, and so were you, running into puddles and getting eaten by trees.
Alright. Okay, everything's my fault. I'm sorry.
He has a point.
I'm sorry I went mad, and I'm sorry I ate some porridge.
It's okay, Sandy. You forgive me.
I'm very sorry to do this, guys, but it's like 12 for me now, and I think it's about time for me to go to bed.
Yeah, we're winding down. I'm just checking on things like you guys are planning on following this guy out, leading off to a new section of the Feywild from here, away from a kingdom of night.
Well, seeing as we've just clearly defied them, yes.
Yeah, away from there would be good.
Yeah. So we're all good for meeting up again next week?
Let me check my calendar 1 second.
Normally speaking, yes.
I think I should be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Alright, so unless something happens between now and then, we should be good for next week. And getting into away from this particular kingdom and the Feywilds.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed yourselves.
What XP are we at, just so I make sure that I didn't miss anything? I've got